Ahoy, hoy! Welcome, friends. Welcome, audience. Welcome to the Salon. I am live from my co-host with the most host. I did not think about this ahead of time. I'm live from Palm Springs, and I'm thrilled to be here with my co-host Trevor, live and in person for the first time on the Salon. Excited to be joined by our intrepid crew. We have a few folks who can't be with us tonight. We wish them be better for those who are sick. We wish them lovely times with their significant others for those who are doing that, and hope to see you in future weeks. But gentlemen, how we doing? How are things?
We're getting close. We're right in the smack middle of the silly season. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
Ready for this year to be done? Yes.
Good though. I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
Yeah, I feel slightly conflicted. I've actually had a very good 2023 comparatively, but the world is on fire. Like I'm thriving in some ways, but like very much not in others. But I have Star Trek to bring me through.
You just feel
better.
For now. We have Star Trek for now.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get into it. Don't you worry.
Star Trek is forever.
That is actually a great segue. So tonight we are discussing the Star Trek: The Next Generation's first season. We are closing out our thumb wars of the Next Generation with season 1, the season that started it all the way back in 1987, when one of your co-hosts, me, was a spry 3 years old. I'm feeling quite young being in Palm Springs as a 38-year-old, and I am going to milk it for everything I can for the 6 days that I am here.
As you should. 6 days. Wow, that's cool. I hope Palm Springs are warm.
I don't know if I'd use the word milk in this situation.
I think you should use the word milk, but I think you should milk everything that you can in Palm Springs.
I chose my words.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
She said what she said.
I think it's right now time for one of those banners already.
Oh, right.
Or
maybe all of them.
Yeah, I deserve that. I should have done that earlier.
Making me count stuff already.
Yeah. So like I said, we are talking about Star Trek: The Next Generation season 1. We'll get into it fully, but I did want to take a moment right up top and acknowledge what any Trek fan is probably going to wonder about this season, and that is the third episode, fourth episode. It depends on how you count the pilot. It doesn't matter. There is an episode titled Code of Honor, and it is racist. It is badly done, badly written. It should not have happened. I wanted to acknowledge up top that episode exists, and I know some people have talked about scrubbing it. I don't think we should ignore the mistakes of the past. I think there are plenty of people who are trying to do that on a certain side of the aisle regarding any number of shitty things that have happened in this country, and ignoring our past is a surefire way to repeat it. And going into 2024, my mantra is maybe not again. Maybe not make those mistakes again. So I wanted to acknowledge it up top. It is an automatic thumbs down. We'll talk about our thumb war in a moment. Just want to acknowledge it. As you can see right now, not everybody is on the Salon tonight, but we are a gaggle of white gays, and I just didn't want it to pass it under the subspace scanner and act like it didn't exist. So with that, Code of Honor is racist. It should not have happened, but it did, and it should be acknowledged. And with that, we'll move on to talking about what the Salon will be tonight. Aside from that episode, which is an automatic thumb down, we are going to set an intention momentarily, and then we will get into our thumb war. So with that, let us set an intention. Hang on.
I did it right this week.
Hang on.
It worked.
There it is.
There you go.
Wow. Everyone set an intention.
Hmm.
Trevor, speaking of awkward things to discuss, let's talk about setting an intention with the latest odd news in the universe.
Whatever could we talk about? Actually, this is kind of fun that I give you most of the credit for coming up with. But yes, there is odd news about, particularly with Paramount and its potential sale and conversations and, in my opinion, shenanigans between Warner Brothers and Paramount. And so we thought we would try to make what could potentially be terrifying news a little more fun and a little lighter and a little more interesting. So what we would like to know is if you could do any sort of WB Warner Brothers property Paramount Star Trek crossover, what would that look like?
And for the record, this should not happen. We're supposed to have antitrust laws in this country.
Yeah.
But here we are. So just for a momentary fun of a thought experiment, Wile E. Coyote as an engineer on the Enterprise, that's a fun thought experiment, but only for a moment. It should not ever happen. This merger should not happen. But
and under ordinary circumstances, I go first, but Ken got super excited, so I'm actually going to. And since we're sitting side by side, it's a little difficult for us to go around the room. So we'll go to Ken, and then Stan and I will go last.
Well, so we know that going to the Looney Tunes, we have Duck Dodgers in the 24th and a half century, which is just about right. And we also have Marvin the Martian. And I would love to see Marvin the Martian and Duck Dodgers team up with the Enterprise to find a way to take out Marvin the Martian and those crazy aliens that grow by water. You know,
I love the idea of Marvin the Martian popping out of the Utopia Planitia being destroyed, being like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Actually, he would say, what the fuck is going on?
That was good. Yeah.
Earth-shattering kaboom.
William?
I don't know. I do like a lower decks Warner Brothers Looney Tunes crossover sounds interesting to me. But like was there not a like, did I imagine it? Wasn't there like a weird crossover with like the comics and like, I think it was Doctor Who. That's not Warner Brothers property though. I mean, yeah.
I think they did. There was a Transformers is Paramount, but
it's Paramount.
Wasn't there something with Batman or something?
Yeah, there was a
Green Lantern and Star
right. Right. I guess something like that, but I don't think I can't imagine any property crossing over. It would be funny for like a Matrix moment, but like I don't know how you would tie that all together. There's not like a property you could link Star Trek to.
You know what? If I can piggyback off you, I had to look up what shows were even on Warner Brothers.
Right.
Besides Looney Tunes, yeah. But one did stick out to me, and I think it would be great if we did a crossover with Reba.
Yes.
A working mom who loves too hard.
But I think it should be Captain Reba. She's a single captain who works two ships. And both of them are like an old Excelsior class and like a Miranda, and neither of them are great.
Yeah.
But is Scarlett going to play Naomi Wildman or Reba's daughter or both?
There's the question.
All right.
No, there it is. Reba's actually her grandmother. Samantha Wildman's mother.
Yeah. Reba Wildman.
Reba Wildman.
It was her maiden name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
I seem to have a memory of The Next Generation actually did crossover with Webster, was it? Or with Different Strokes? I mean,
Webster.
Yeah.
Webster, yeah.
It was unfortunate, but yes, it happened.
Then we need a Star Trek Picard Alf crossover. Like get Alf in there. Alf eats Spot. Alf eats Spot. And then that's how we get into this.
Alf
because he eats cats. Remember, he eats stray cats.
they're delicious on Melmac.
Yeah.
That season finale that ended up being a series finale was upsetting.
Far too serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, it got
Spoiler
dark,
alert,
dark.
Alf was captured by the FBI, and they had always said throughout the show that if he would have been dissected. They thought they were going to get another season, and so they never wrapped it up.
We got dissected.
Yep.
That's what happened.
Gone.
Trevor.
So, I have a very selfish desire to see Susan Ivanova in the Star Trek universe. So a little B5 crossover would be fun. Even if it's just that character, I would like to see
an alternate universe.
Sure, why not?
Well, she was the actress was originally up for 7 of 9. She was like the number 2 choice of because I guess they were waiting for Terry Ryan to become available before they initially cast her. But yeah, she was originally up for 7 of 9.
She auditioned for Catherine Janeway too.
Yep.
I don't know that she was far in the running for it, but she was very close to getting 7.
That would have been interesting. Either of those roles.
Yeah.
I love who got them, but
yes, I think the universe has unfolded as it should.
Yes.
But I would love, I would just love to see that character means a lot to me, and I would love to see that character in Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also fully unprepared for my own question. I love every idea that's been brought up. There are a lot of possibilities. It's like I said, it should not happen, but it's fun to talk about. The main reason I worry about a merger is not just that the head of Warner Brothers is a fool who just wants tax write-offs and selling shit. Like what they've done with HBO Max is just insane. So like I can only imagine how bad it's going to get for Trek if this happens. I also think about the people who work at these companies and the layoffs that they would probably try to do. But for fun reasons, it would be interesting to see in the Star Trek universe, they talk about Earth as a utopia, but like, so where does a Batman figure go when Gotham doesn't have that kind of crime? Maybe they go to Stardust City and there's a Batman figure in Stardust City or in District 7 at Mtalis Prime or Metalis Prime. Yeah. Mtalis phonetically.
Mtalis.
I'm gonna pronounce everything phonetically tonight.
Okay.
So that's my answer. A Batman figure who actually focuses on real crime, not street level crime.
Also, Superman from Lois and Superman, the most recent CW, like mostly just because he's hot.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
it is.
Just saying somebody's hot isn't necessarily a problematic gay, but what is problematic gay alert is saying he could do whatever the fuck he wanted to me. I have multiple holes for a reason. These use self-destruct. Remember that?
I do.
Remember when I cared about
they don't
my future prospects?
Yeah, they used to self-destruct. Didn't you at one point, Stan, or someone said that wouldn't it be cool to sort of do, maybe it was you, Matt, that said the Klingon Empire in a Game of Thrones kind of motif. And so, do Game of Thrones, they could have the Game of Thrones people write a Star Trek, which would be kind of interesting. So
I think we do need that like my real pitch for Alex Kurtzman would be like, let's start moving away from Starfleet a little bit with at least like a couple of projects. Not like the Anchor show, not like Starfleet is inherent to what they do, but I think there's a lot of room for like exactly that, like these 24 great houses of the Klingon Empire. Like let's dissect those a little bit, just as an example. But yeah, well, that was lovely. That was fun. We set our intentions. Now the real work begins. We are going to rate the first season of Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's a Salon thumb.
with the NFL music, which really doesn't fit to this kind of thing, but that sounds very NFL films.
Do you want? I'm gonna make a banner and a video just for Ken to have his commentary corner. Like, give me your criticisms We'll,
No,
we'll,
no, no.
we'll
It
give
wasn't criticism.
we'll give you a whole we'll give you a whole segment so that you can just like air everything
I
out.
do. I do want to
line.
say something about the origin of season 1, if you have time.
Okay, but there's not going to be real quick. The banner that's going to happen, the little tag, the intro that will happen for Ken's Corner, is
Tosser alert.
there will be no song. It will just be the sound effect. Wah, wah.
Uh-huh. So,
Yes, we all know that the Next Generation was going to be phase 2, and then it wasn't. But yes,
no.
Ken, please give
I'm
us the
talking about
history.
the business side of things.
Or
So a lot
score.
of people have asked, how is it that this show was so incredibly bad? And we're going to find out in this first season. The first couple seasons of the Next Generation were really not good. How is it that that it stayed on for that long? The reason is because Paramount at the time said, we're going to do this in first run syndication. Oh, and by the way, if you want to still run the original Star Trek series, you have to run the Next Generation. You have no choice. So if you still want this classic 79, you've got to run our new show. And that's why it lived for as long as it lived before it picked up on its own steam. That's it. Back to you.
Thank you, Ken.
This has been Ken's Corner.
That's Ken's Corner.
There was a banner I almost clicked, and I would not mean to.
Oh,
Which it's gonna be.
don't. Nothing to do with
Because
anything that's just been said.
It's the end of it. It's the she died part that is bad.
Oh.
Nobody.
But that works.
Yeah. You know what, Ken? You earned this one.
I haven't done any of that stuff.
You're alive.
None of those
At
words.
least
Maybe
the first
lived. Lived may have been the only one.
Physically.
All right. All right. Let's get into it. You all know how this goes. Trevor is going to read the episode title, give a brief description. It will be a terrible description. He did not write these. And then for some of them, we will have commentary. For some, we won't. We'll just thumbs up, we'll thumbs down. We will try to round this out. It's 6:54. We will try to wrap this up around 8:30 Pacific. And God willing, we will achieve that goal. Let's go, Trevor.
Season 1, Episode 1, Encounter at Farpoint. Picard and crew try to work out how the bandy inhabitants of Deneb built the Farpoint station. During their journey, the crew of the Enterprise are put on trial by a mysterious force called Q for all the crimes of humanity. At the trial, Q continues to denounce humans while Picard defends his race. I think that should say species. And convinces Q that the upcoming mission to Farpoint will be the perfect opportunity to prove his point.
Oh, let's get into this.
Matt, your face says it all.
Yeah, let's go to Matt first. I want
Verbose
that
and
space.
inaccurate all at the same time.
Give words space.
I don't know if I've ever seen this episode.
What?
What?
Oh,
She
that was good.
See, now that's the banner. That's the banner right there.
She lived, she served cunt. You're right.
Yeah.
The episode it's such a bold. There it is. It's
she earned it
such
this
a
week, folks.
bold start to a series. It is such a we're going to take this and we're going to go balls to the wall with everything that we have thought of in the last 6 months in the writer's room all at once. Like, we have shape-shifting jellyfish. We have this, humanity on trial. We have this odd sexual thing with back history of all of our bridge officers already.
All of them.
Like
all of them.
Well, there's literally Picard with Crusher and Wesley, and there's
It wasn't
Sexual tension
sexual
with
with Wesley.
Wesley.
I just want to be very clear.
That was a
Oh my
very
God.
different episode.
okay.
A very special
what you-
episode of TNG.
They find out that he what? No, he's in the bathroom. We're looking for the other dog. Sorry, we lost him for a second. No, yeah, I think it's fantastic.
What?
Sound off in the comments too. What were your thoughts of this series premiere?
Oh, I was so incredible. I'm still pissed. Years and years later, when I heard I watched it when it first came out, and when I heard someone else say Space: The Final Frontier, I was like, no, honey, this is it. No, forget it. Who
Did
the
you say that
hell?
when
Could have been
Spock
a-
said it in Star Trek 3
I love
Star
it. I
Trek
love it
or
when
2?
No,
I
the
love it when
opening.
Ken's gay comes out. No, honey,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
not
it's
your
not-
thing.
It's not. It's when I say he said it at the end. He had said it at
End
the
of
end of
2.
Star Trek 2. Yes.
End of 2. Do you have to die to say it in order for you to be okay?
No, but I'm like, I was like really, really pissed off. And the best moment of that two-parter or that 2 hour for me was it's a new ship, but she's got a good name. She's got the right name. Treat her like a lady. She'll always bring you home. That's it. That's what the whole episode lives on, that. And that line, which, by the way, they thought about saying it just like that in Picard season 3, but they decided not to. So
It is a great line in a very ham-fisted scene that, like, I get why they shoehorned it in there. Star Trek really does that a lot. But Will, you have some thoughts percolating there.
I do. This episode's so bad. Like, its pacing is super weird. It starts out with the Q thing, and then it immediately cuts to back to the planet where it's all like, ooh, cutesy. It's like that. It clearly, like, okay, we all know that Gene Roddenberry was a little bit too hands-on, and getting DC Fontana to write the episode, I think, was a smart choice. And then he comes in and goes, "Oh, I'm going to redo all this and add the Q character," which people were like, "It's too close to some other stuff that we've had." And he was like, "Nah, it's going to work." I mean, when you try something that many times, eventually you're going to get it right with the superhuman omnipotent thing. And how many episodes of the original series are like that? But like, it's just like the structure of the episode makes no sense to me, because you always want to start with like a splash. I know you're talking shit about me because you're muted, Stanley.
No, I'm trying to make sure this fan doesn't.
There's
Sure.
a dog
Yeah, I'm sure.
situation and a fan, and
there always is when I'm there too. Yeah. So it just doesn't make any sense structurally. And then watching it again, I was like, it's just like whiplash. Like,
well,
I don't know if it could have been fixed, because like he like just tacked this stuff onto the beginning and then the other stuff at the end. Like the bulk of the episode isn't bad. But
you know why
like,
he did that, right, Will? You know why he
because
wrote
he
that?
wanted writing credit
For the
and then he
pilot,
tried to
which
get
meant
it.
that he
Yeah.
got paid for everything afterwards.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I get it, but
also
I don't know. Rewatching it just frustrated me.
he didn't want a 2-hour movie. The network did. He wanted
Yeah.
a 1 hour, and so it became 2 stories that trip over each other.
Yeah, and you can tell that. Like that's a good analogy, Trevor. It trips over itself. The ideas of it are great. Like the actual, like, it's very Star Trek. Like they're using this base. It's really cool. Like the overarching thing of Q. It could have used another pass as for writing. I don't know. I'm sure they were running behind schedule and they just wanted to get this shit moving. But like, as like an episode, just generally, I found it very. It's good for the season, but that's a very low bar to clear.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
I love it for all the wrong reasons. Like, I admittedly have a bias for this episode because
Cheerleader Troy.
Yeah, cheerleader Troy. Problem
Troy
solved. Troy boy. Whoa. Thank you. No, so this is gonna be way too much about me, but here we go. So, fell in love with Star Trek at like age 7, and so it was original series reruns that I was obsessed with. And in 1987, I had just left left DC and moved to Florida, much against my will, but my dad's job moved us, and so off we went. This show premiered. My dad like hyped it up for me so much because I was just a sad mess of a child that didn't want to leave his home and his friends. And so my dad was like, "Hey, this cool thing's coming on TV." We watched it together. It's one of my fondest memories of my father that don't involve like me doing after school activities and my dad being there. So it's very much a me and my dad thing. And then also the channel that carried it in Florida when we moved didn't air the first season until January. So in September, this episode premiered, and then I didn't get to see season 1 until January, the first week of January. So
this pilot had you on the edge of your seat wanting more.
Well, at like 11 or 12, yes.
Yeah.
Because it gave me a character that was roughly my age. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Will and I are not that far apart in age. We're not this Will Wheaton, and I are like 4 or 5 years apart. So I'm watching the
much
show.
younger than both of you. Much younger.
You are
fetal even.
I mean, your soul is like 9,000 years. No, I'm kidding.
Ashes, bones and ashes, girl.
She is the ancestors. They live within her, and they live within me.
Girl, petrified wood.
That was strangely arousing.
We also have
to
point out that Will has petrified a lot of wood.
No.
Only because I live near Palm Springs.
Place for if you're going to do that, do it here.
Yeah.
So
it's terrified.
Enjoy the next 6 days.
Yeah.
While I'm not here,
I will not be going to get petrified wood
at it. But no, moral of the story. I got something new in Star Trek that wasn't a rerun that I hadn't watched 4,000 times already. I had this weird possibility of like, oh, if I were alive in that time, I could actually be on that ship. I don't have to wait to grow up. Like I could actually be there. And I recorded it on VHS and watched the fuck out of it for 4 months until the actual show premiered. So I can probably just recite the entire episode. So I have a fondness for it, but it's wildly biased and is rooted in, it's like taking a kid to Disney and then being like, Disney sucks, and trying to convince that kid that Disney sucks 40 years later. It's not going to work. I love it for very, very personal and stupid childhood reasons.
All right, I'm gonna
not because it's a great story.
I'm gonna close out this episode and move us forward. I love and hate this episode. I think it is a terrible pilot, but what they like, it's probably one of the worst pilots in Trek. But there are things that I loved about it. To this day, that saucer separation sequence is cool as fuck. I love it. I love the drama of it, even though like knowing like it's actually kind of a basic thing. Like, oh, you shouldn't do it at warp, but even later in the season, they take it very seriously, even though they're not at warp. So I love that sequence of it. What I love that they introduce, it does do what a pilot is supposed to do by introduces its characters and lays the groundwork without giving us too much. Like we know that Deanna and Will were involved, and that slow walk down that ramp with her projecting into his brain.
Do you remember what I taught you in Zadi?
The weirdest, sexiest thing. Beverly and Picard knowing each other, and like the weird trailing off of you saw him win, and like the whole bridge crew I'm imagining is being like, win what, bitch? Like we all want to know what's going on now. God, I love it for that. I love Troy's look in this episode. I'm sad it died with the pilot. I love Tasha Yar. We're going to talk about her a lot tonight. I love her. She is a better security chief than Worf could ever hope to be and ever was. There are certain episodes I'll highlight when she's like making very good suggestions that people don't listen to versus Worf's very terrible suggestions that we shouldn't listen to, and thankfully they don't. I kind of love Q, even though like overdone a little bit in the first season. Him coming back in episode 10 was like a little wild. That episode will be a thumbs down, spoiler alert for later. But I love the random shit about this that does not make sense. Like looking at this from a 2023 lens, not having certain things flushed out is a little weird. Like Picard saying, print out all stations. Like print what? Like they like printing paper? That makes and like little things like that don't make any fucking sense. I delight at, because Star Trek is full of random shit that doesn't make sense, and you need a little bit of headcanon. Like in my head, the Stargazer did have paper, or the Reliant B that he was on had paper, something. And so like he's just saying something that made sense with his last ship, and everybody's just going along with it. Like this captain's yelling at me, I'm gonna be like, yes sir, and then just it'll be print out on it'll be print out on all stations.
Let's remember the Enterprise E had pen and paper.
This is true. They had a library. They had a full library.
They did. So let's remember
and a librarian.
Every screen on the ship with like the information.
Yeah,
you
just
say,
put it
like,
out.
some sort of-
And the other thing that I love is like random plot holes that make no sense. Q stopping the Enterprise to being like, "You've gone too far," when the hood is fully much further away at Farpoint Station, dropping off other people. I love the inconsistency, and so I'm gonna round out the pilot episode. I'm gonna get our thumbs and then introduce a fellow Saloner to join us for episodes 3 and beyond. So let's get our thumbs for this episode. I'm gonna give it a sideways. It is. It is.
It's a sideways. It's not a unanimous sideways, but it's a sideways. So Matt, thank you for agreeing with like 11, 12-year-old Trevor.
Yes. All right. To move us on to episode 2, I'm going to yield the floor to a new guest just after episode 3 technically is read by my co-host.
Episode 3, The Naked Now. The Enterprise crew is exposed to a deadly contaminant after investigating odd occurrences aboard the starship USS Tsiolkovsky.
You did it.
I said it.
I could never
I
get
said
it.
out loud. Could you activate the transporter?
Sohel. Encounter at Sohel. Welcome.
As I live and breathe.
Hello.
Greetings, salutations.
All the things.
And Walter.
Speaking of an omnipotent being,
Dear Sohel, welcome.
I need to mix another.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
I'm gonna need another.
Santa Spock, is that what that's? Santa
I love. What's that?
Santa Spock? They like the shirt.
Yeah, I couldn't find my TNG shirt, so I'm wearing my TOS shirt. But yeah,
You don't have a
Santa.
closet dedicated to all of your uniform.
I have like a little pile, and I
Okay,
guess
that's
that
fair.
TNG one's in the wash or
All
in
right.
the laundry bin.
We'll
But
allow it.
yeah, Encounter at Sohail's here. I'm gonna change it to the Naked Sohail.
So
This is the horniest season of Star Trek.
Yes.
Proceed.
perfect. So
I took the
Sohel,
assignment
because
literally.
Sohel, just because you missed the primer, we're gonna try and wrap this up within an hour and a half now.
Oh, I heard y'all.
So we're gonna
Stop playing with your ball.
we're it's already off the rails and I love it.
No,
Will was playing with
So
records.
not every
and I
episode
played
is
with
going to
my
get
balls.
comment-
listen, y'all. My flight leaves at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so if we can finish by then.
Okay. By the
not
way,
every
you guys
episode
are
is going to get
fun.
commentary, but some will, and I think the Naked Now deserves it. And I want to turn the floor over to Sohail to kick us off if you have thoughts on the Naked Now.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that episode when I was a kid because everyone was horny, and I was like, I learned what horniness was from Star Trek, which is the best way to learn about it. And so, yeah, exactly. No, I thought it was a good episode. I think it was a clever trick to get everyone, on the crew to show another side of themselves, like their, uninhibited side. And of course, it's iconic because I guess, is that the first time we get the little Dr. Crusher and Captain Picard, like,
It's only the second episode, so pretty much yes.
Yeah. So that was something that I remember as a kid being like, oh. So ever since I've been, ready for that relationship, which never happened, but that's okay. I'm okay with that as well.
It's also so great to have all the characters act incredibly differently than they're supposed to in the second episode. Anyway, wait.
it shows their diverse early on.
There you go. You got it. You almost had it there.
Diversity.
And for a show that they said, we are not going to touch the original series. We don't want to do the original series.
But we will copy an entire episode.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And to have Picard say, looking up, it was either Picard or Riker, I can't even remember, looking up on the computer, and they're saying, another previous Starship Enterprise with a Captain Kirk? Like, they don't know who he is? I'm like, shut the fuck.
Was it that? Was that the tone? I don't remember. I
Yeah.
haven't. I didn't watch it for this, but I
Yeah.
watched it like a year ago or 2
It's
years
like, oh,
ago.
I remember something about someone taking a shower with their clothes on. Ugh, whatever. So, I don't like this episode, in case you couldn't tell.
I don't either, and I don't even have anything to say about it. Like,
Anybody else have thoughts on it?
The only thing I'll say is that like they tried to make Wesley drunk, and that was weird.
Yes.
yeah.
I was on a podcast with Jack Tracy where he's doing like Let's Fix season 1, and I was on the first 3 episodes, and this was one of them. And I think we both talked about how like the Wesley aspect was weird. I turned this into a Crusher episode where like my headcanon is we didn't see her say it, but like she put the ship on lockdown real quick, because remember there are kids on this ship, and it was weird that they didn't acknowledge it and then have this weird shit happening with Wes. So random.
And then there was that
concept.
engineer who like was just like throwing isolinear chips everywhere, and like, oh, that was cool when Data. I didn't understand why Data got drunk, but then when he like sobered up and he was
Makes
like,
no sense.
yeah,
Makes no fucking sense.
But yeah,
Joel, that's what I've always asked too. How was Data, if it was a virus
Yeah.
or something, how was Data still like
In my here's how I fix it.
Well, that's
My
good.
thought
Thank you.
was LaForge. LaForge created a subroutine for Data to experience what being drunk would be like, and this was our first glimpse at LaForge as a better engineer. He deserves to do more than just pilot the ship. Like it was it. I see your face, Matt. It was definitely pushing it, but it was better than just the android can get a virus. Like how the fuck can an android get a virus? It makes no sense.
Stan, do
And
me a
we're
favor
saying-
and just massage your shoulder really quick,
Why?
because that was a really long reach. I just want to make sure you're okay.
Oh wow.
Walks right into
Wow.
it.
Good.
Wow, there you
Wow.
go.
Wow.
You gotta. I have
Dumb.
allergies, so please warn me the next time you try and blow dust off another joke, please.
I love
Who are you?
everything that's happening right here. I love everything. I love that I'm getting bitchiness in 2 different directions. I'm getting it from both sides. Oh, so sorry.
It's like stereo.
You do love to get it from both sides.
I do.
Threw her line.
True.
So upset she threw a lime at me.
Is
I'm getting it from both sides.
Ugh, it's like snarky atmos.
And I
drive-by
spilled
fruit.
all
I
over
think-
my home. I'm
I
sorry.
think Jordy. I don't think Jordy was messing with Data yet, right? Like they're not friends yet.
Right, which is why I think this is
Yeah,
where,
right,
like, in my let's fix this episode and make it make sense. Jordy is like, hey, I'm also an engineer, not just a pilot. Blah blah blah. Anyway, let's see your thumbs for this episode. We gotta move this ahead.
I have a joke. I want to. The only way it's a down.
More dust?
The only,
Everyone shut up.
What I would have loved is a scene right at the end in 10 Forward, which we don't have yet. It's Troy, Beverly, and Yar, and then Troy leans in to Yar and goes, "How big is it?" Cut to credits.
Yes. Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. All right.
Thank
Thumbs.
you. Next episode, please.
Down.
So bad. It's
We got
so
3
bad.
downs and 3. We got 3 downs and 3 sideways. How do ties work? Oh
Wait,
wait,
what?
Matt just ruined it. Okay, Matt's a down.
We're all down.
We tried, Sohail. We tried
It's okay.
All right. Episode
Matt had
4
a
is the one
rule
we're
one.
skipping.
quite diligently.
Wait, oh, is that a code of honor?
Yeah. Episode
Yeah.
4 is an automatic down, as previously addressed at the beginning of the. Whoops! Wait, where am I? Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Episode 5.
Episode 5, The Last Outpost. The USS
Oh, I love
Enterprise
that.
and Ferengi starships must pass a crucial inquisition by the Guardian of the Takan Empire before continuing their trips through space.
This is the one with the whip.
These are so bad.
The trips through space.
Trips
I
through
mean,
space.
They're literally called treks.
They're called like, but they weren't on a trip. They were chasing each other.
Maybe they should have called it Star Trip. That'd have been
Somebody
interesting.
stole a generator.
Yeah.
And they were chasing. Anyway,
Wild.
we
Star
encounter the
Trek.
Takan. Everything. The ship loses power. Everybody gets cold.
I will kick us off. I don't know if people have commentary on this one. I just want to kick us off. This was the last of those 3 episodes that I was on. I turned this into a Troy episode. She was the one who was like, hey, you all are focused on that. You've ignored the planet. I fixed this episode by making it a Troy is a diplomat, not just a therapist episode. And that's why she's on the bridge. She's the one. The way that I switch it is Will is still down on the planet, but instead of him talking to the guy, mostly it's Deanna as like a chief diplomat. The way that I would fix her character, if she needed fixing, I love her, Troy Boy forever. But I would set her up early on to be a full-on diplomatic counselor, as well as she happens to be a therapist. So that's it. This will be a thumbs down for me, but I made it a thumb sideways.
Even after the finger puzzle, that didn't win you over. All right.
Wait,
You
but we
deserve that
did
D.
see
You deserve your D to fall flat.
we
So, yeah.
we did see holograms at least, so that
Mhm.
was kind of nice. We actually got a functional, like they were using it as a piece of technology, which was nice because obviously we went back to 2D displays for
That was like
everything
the
else.
last
And
time, right? Yeah, I think
it
that's
was
the only time
season 1 was the only ones that like actually
stuff like
dabbled
that.
in it. But I actually tend to like this episode. I think the Ferengi were actually a fun little adversary. I'm an ardent fan of the Ferengi in like Deep Space Nine as comic relief, but I think this was a fun little way we see them before we get to know them.
Yeah, my last tooting my own horn. The way that I fixed the Ferengi is this ferocious reputation of theirs. I made it. My fix was it was a rumor that they themselves started.
Yeah,
Because like just to like, oh, the Federation doesn't like money. Let's make them think we're ruthless mercenaries, so they leave us alone and we can get all the profit.
I have
That is very good, Human.
I have some positive thoughts about this episode too, in that it's like if you were to take this episode out of TNG season 1 and throw it into TOS season 3, it actually works. It's an
You can see that for any
interesting-
of these episodes, though.
It's
You could take
Yeah.
any of them out of this and put it in the original series, and it'd be good.
I don't know, because like not the ones that
That's
focus
true.
on.
They did the Naked Now better.
No.
They did.
Sorry, I was doing a little Kristen Chenoweth there. I don't like there are some that focus on like family that clearly didn't. I mean, there's some Wesley episodes. Wesley saves the ship constantly in season 1, which is like one of the biggest criticisms. And there
Remember
was
when
no Wesley.
Beverly in this episode was like, "Should I put him down?"
Yeah, that was actually kind of fun, in a weird, twisted kind of way. But it began the could Beverly possibly be psychopathic? Question that I asked throughout most of season 3. No, there are some fun like science fiction aspects of. Oh shit! I gotta credit myself with that one, or you or somebody. Anyway, it was a Bev alert.
All of the above.
I gotta keep track of things and make drinks and also talk. So as a science fiction story, it actually wasn't half bad. The Takan bit was actually kind of interesting. My biggest complaint about this episode is actually not the characters kind of not knowing who they were yet. It was more the we never revisited this whole concept again, and there's a lot of opportunity for that.
I swore when Star Trek Picard season 1 came out, and there was that whole season 1 with the incestuous. Yeah, that's season 1.
Yep.
It's all
Incestuous
blending together
Romulans,
now.
yep.
Yeah, the Romulans. I swore that they were going to say that the species that had done all of that was the Takan, and that's how we found out that it was like that was their final undoing, was that they had created these machines.
Yeah.
And then we get this wraparound of outpost, the last outpost, this is what happened, yada yada yada.
Yeah,
that's how I would have. One of the ways I would have fixed Star Trek Picard.
I mean, it was executed not great, but like the concept isn't horrible. Like I don't think we should set this episode on fire.
Not anybody, I know at least one other person who here has played Star Trek Resurgence. It's the game that's based on this episode. Like,
literally.
Right,
Yeah.
I heard
Who
the
would've thought?
Guardian or whatever is like a prominent character or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
It's super fun. It was a little glitchy at first, but it got fun. Although I will say, a little homophobic. You only had the option of either being interested in a woman or let's just be friends. There wasn't any like, no, I'm actually gay. I
Or romancing
accidentally
the other character.
We all need
yeah.
to play the game together, and then
because there were
it'll
two that
become
were like they're clearly lesbians, but then they don't play it that way.
Yeah.
Super weird. But
Oh,
I remember
Joanne, that's right.
I accidentally said yes, I'm interested in you, and I was like, oh god damn it. So I
yeah.
just started playing it as though
I did too, and then I dumped her.
I played it as though I'm a closet case, and I just accidentally said it, and then just went with it. I'm like, but then every option I had after that, I was like, move away from this, move away from this, move away from this, and like, I just wanted to tell her, like, no, sorry, I was gay. I panicked, and that's not okay. I should not have done that to you.
I have never ever played any Star Trek video games ever. That's one area.
Girl, you got to fix yourself.
One area of Star Trek that, except for like, the
And
arcade
also play
game-
Star Trek video games.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, thumbs for this episode.
Good job, Matt.
What are we talking about? Last outpost.
This is.
I'm not
bad-
going to give this episode any thumbs because I think any Ferengi episode is the greatest episode of all. So
That
don't
is,
thumb down me.
that is a fantastic Zach.
I don't know what the fuck is happening, but I'm here for it.
It's
That's
the
a
grand fucking Negus. That's what's happening.
Wallace
Wait.
Shawn has entered the chat, everybody.
Now I need
Well,
Wallace
everybody.
Shawn dressed as the Grand Negus to say fucking.
Inconceivable.
It's
That is-
fucking
Just fucking
inconceivable. You know, you know what else, Matt? The Ferengi were not. I mean, sorry, Stanley. The Ferengi were not pretending to be anything. Those are our Ferengi that we send out to stupid missions. You know,
We're
like
getting a little
missions
Kermit
we
now.
don't care.
the ones
about.
without
They're-
profit.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid Ferengis.
Profitless missions.
Grand Nagus, I apologize.
Oh,
Thank you for coming on to the salon.
it's okay.
The-
You're
Thank you,
forgiven.
It's an honor. It's an
Seven-
honor to have you.
7 thumbs up.
Also, didn't you retire?
He did.
He's
Now it's
gone. I can't bring
You're-
him back.
That was
Grand
great.
Here to Palm Springs. I'm pretty sure we saw him earlier when we were at the bar.
Yes.
This is not.
He messaged Stanley on Scruff.
Girl, his grinder like blew up.
God, I'm 20 years younger here. I'm like 18 again. It's
Ask me again why I moved here.
they're all 16 miles away, but still. Anyway,
So when
thumbs
I
for this
visit-
episode.
Ooh.
Oh, I'll give it a thumbs up because I like the Takan Empire and all
Two
that
ups,
stuff.
Two ups,
down.
two sideways, and a down. It's a sideways.
All right. Where no one has gone before.
Which, as it turns out, is not entirely accurate. The Enterprise is catapulted more than 1 billion light years from its galaxy. You mean our galaxy? When a test of the ship's propulsion systems backfires.
Goes
Because
wacky.
that's what the episode is about, folks. It's about an engine test that backfired. That's the entire plot.
I mean,
There's nothing else
Ludicrous-
going on.
Ludicrous speed.
Not a thing.
That's not the worst description.
Just a
that's
backfire
on
of an
here.
engine test. That's all. Anyway.
They didn't even mention the
Um,
whole thing about the Traveler.
So yeah, so there's Kaczynski, who's weird and doesn't have a comm badge and his rank doesn't exist. There's the Traveler, who has a slightly inappropriate interest in a 14-year-old. He phases.
Groomer.
We're all supposed to just know what that means. Yeah, there's weird little mushroom stools in engineering, and I think that covers the episode
Yeah.
too. Yeah, so the Traveler first shares information about Wesley that suggests that perhaps he might be special. And it
But he doesn't even tell Wesley.
no, because that would change.
And he doesn't even tell Wesley's mother. He tells the captain.
Because that would
Where's Krista to
Yeah.
talk about how shitty that
because
is?
that would change how special he is for
Right.
some unknown and never explained reason that doesn't actually come to fruition. Yeah, it's so. But one lovely thing about this episode, in my opinion, this was not shared by every fan of Star Trek Picard, but I feel like the scene between Picard and his mother in this episode took on significantly more emotional meaning following the realization that she had actually died when he was a child. Spoiler alert for anyone who didn't watch Picard season 2. That scene is sad and deep, and in my opinion, significantly more touching and powerful because of Star Trek Picard season 2. It's probably the only thing touching and powerful that came from Star Trek Picard season 2. But
listen, Alison Pill singing was fantastic.
that was pretty fucking awesome. But anyway,
Pat Benatar, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, come on. So I'm bogarting the mic. I will stop. Those are.
I just want to also point out that I just remembered, and just because I was looking up the episode, because I didn't realize he never actually wore a comm badge, and now it's going to bother me.
As it should.
Also, this is one of the best examples of the male scant in this episode.
It's true.
With the attractive gentleman in the back.
Yes, that's right.
All right, let's see those thumbs.
Wait, can I just say something about this episode? Yeah. When I was a kid, this was one of the ones that stood out to me because of that whole sequence of going beyond our galaxy. Like that, like really lit up my imagination and like kind of got me thinking about how big the universe is and all sorts of things. And those dudes with the whatever. No, that's a different episode. That's Barkley. Sorry, but also, I'm just realizing now that season 1 like did a really interesting trick to fast track us getting to know these characters and endearing us to them. So we had like them without their inhibitions in Naked Now, and here we had them dealing with fears and things like that. So now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of actually, whether it's clever or not, worked out to, I think, endear me to these characters because I started to learn so much about different aspects about them so quick, like in 4 or 5 episodes.
I will also say, like, plenty can be said about Star Trek Picard season 2. There are good things there. That makes it sound more negative than I intend it to sound. But I remember after that season aired, this episode was on Pluto, and seeing that scene with Picard's mother appearing, I got a little teary eyed because like it was powerful enough before knowing what we know now. Because like clearly, like the woman was dead even before we knew what happened in Star Trek Picard season 2. But knowing what we know, see, like the scene was always powerful, like Picard with his mother. But knowing that that wasn't actually her, that she didn't make it to that age, really got to me.
And one of the reasons why that scene resonated so much for me after Picard season 2 is, are we sure it wasn't her?
Right. Because your thoughts could conjure anything,
including whatever she is now.
Yeah.
I just wondered why he conjured her as like an older woman. That's like what I want to know, is like why his.
Well, that's what he said.
That in Picard season 2, he said, I imagined her as an older woman. Like he imagined her
with a French accent.
He had a T.
Yeah.
Because they went to, right.
Yeah. And then,
which she probably would have developed actually as she got older, because they
lived from Twitter. Ryan, thank you. Best thing about season 2 was Gaius Baltar.
All right, I'll take it.
as
I accept the critique.
What was his father's name? Maurice Picard. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Touching on the Traveler, not touching
name
the
for
Traveler.
touching on thumbs for this episode. I think that's enough.
Nice.
I'm surprised, Trev, you didn't think the Traveler thing went anywhere, because I feel like that also got completed in Picard season 2.
No, that's what it did. Yeah, no, it did. I felt like the
Picard season 2 fixing all the things in this episode.
Yeah. And it didn't go anywhere with the, like, to Stan's point, not telling the right people. Like, why are you telling Captain Picard about a kid on his ship? Like, tell the mother. Yeah. Anywho. Okay.
Lonely Among Us.
Transporting adversary. Okay, this one's gonna make me throw my iPad. Transporting adversaries to a conference, the Enterprise enters an energy cloud that affects the ship and crew. That's the summary, folks.
It's technically true.
There's an energy cloud that's affecting us.
Tell us nothing. I watched this episode 2 days ago because I didn't remember it. This one, the only thing that I'll say, because I don't want us to deep dive into every episode, but we can. I mean, you have an early flight, I don't. But they beam the captain into a nebula. and then he just happens to be okay. Like I swear to God, if Twitter existed in 1987, people would bitch and moan just as much as they do about Discovery now, and other new Trek. But
They did bitch and moan a lot about TNG, actually.
for sure.
Yeah.
But it would
Like
be it would be just as bad
on dial-up.
Like Ken was bitching and moaning for sure.
shouting into the wind.
I wasn't bitching and moaning about this stuff.
If only there was internet so that I could talk to strangers about this online.
I was just in stunned silence a lot of these episodes. Like, what? Yeah. Which you guys should say it's too bad you're not in stunned silence right now. So you missed your own opportunity to come at me. You should be in stunned silence right now, Ken.
I stopped paying attention. Sorry, what?
Yeah.
Joel is right. There was the Trek BBS back then. I feel like
there sure was.
Yeah, I was on that shit.
Wait, was he in this episode? Or you mean in the season?
Mark Alemo, he comes out at the end, but maybe he's in this episode too.
In Lonely Among Us? I know he was. He was the wrong. He's
in the finale. Yeah. Exactly. We're back.
We're back.
Stay on agenda. God damn it.
What episode? Oh, Lonely Among Us.
All right,
I don't remember anything else about the episode.
Thumbs for this episode.
This episode I have no memory of, so I'm going to give it a down.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to vote because you all suck.
Do you want to defend this episode? The next episode is the one that I'm dying to talk about.
All right, let's move on. Next episode is Justice. Picard tries to save. It's easy to ignore you when you're on a screen, but you're next to me. It's so annoying. Picard tries to save Wesley, who has been sentenced to death for inadvertently violating a foreign planet's rules. I have some serious concerns about
plants, no less. A
foreign
planet. This is a sort of mega asshole, right?
It's technically true, but
it's a garbage episode except for the horniness. All that.
Yes.
Great.
I like so
those outfits.
But it needed more naked men.
This episode is lacking diversity. Hardcore. Like they're all white, and that's weird. Like no planet, and like they all looked human, so they could have had a diverse guest cast in this one. It's not like they're under prosthetics, and so everybody looks the same for production cost reasons. That said, all of them are hot. And I was watching this the other day, and as a 38-year-old, I feel weird about it because I am younger than the youth of that episode. But looking at them and like, oh, those 17-year-olds look hot. And we're like, wait a minute. No.
Inappropriate.
But they're older than me. It's a weird conundrum. And
they were and still are older than you.
Yes.
They're just frozen in time.
Unless they're dead.
And then some of them might be dead. I thought that
if they broke the rules of the colony, they might be dead.
Assuming the actors were like in their 20s, I'm sure they weren't.
They were.
Yeah, assuming the actors were in their 20s.
They were old enough. Wesley was not.
That one dude that had the really low just shorts. Oh my god! I was like, wow.
The otter, the one that had the chest hair.
Yes, the otter. Oh my god!
None of those men were under the age of at least. They were all legally allowed to drink. Like I guarantee,
they were all in their 20s.
For sure, they had like a big real life orgy after filming this episode.
I'm sure.
There's no way you could do this episode without being horny. It's like
this was actually, I think, the Next Generation's first real attempt at the Prime Directive and talking about the Prime Directive.
Yeah.
So that I thought was kind of cool. You know, where Crusher goes to Picard and, you know, basically they saying fuck the Prime Directive, right? And I think that's interesting. Enough with this running shit.
Joanne in the chat.
If you'll excuse me, I have to attribute a massive amount of bonus points to Joanne right now.
That she deserves whatever you're doing. Double it.
Listen,
me, please, because that's fantastic.
No, listen. I don't know if this is the point that Joanne was making, but I watched this episode 2 days ago, and I was like, "There's some fat phobia here." Like, with like, oh, we run because that's fit and that's what fit people do. I'm like, listen, fat people are beautiful too, and like we don't have to run to prove it. But yes, thank you, Joanne. I don't know if you and I are on the same wavelength of why that pissed me off, but I'm glad it pissed you off too.
Actually, to your point, why? So the planet was just sexy people or sexually open people. Why were the only people sexually open? They had to be thin and or muscular.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't jive with like.
Yeah, all of the men were muscular. There were
The idea of the
other
planet,
than the kids.
yeah, the idea of the planet wasn't that they were all physically fit. The idea of the planet was that they were sexually open and expressive.
Yes.
So show everyone on their planet banging,
Yes.
not just the one
More
that seems to be
sex.
hot from an
Yeah.
80s perspective.
And
Those things
also
are-
show
oh, sorry,
everyone
go
banging.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
yes,
And-
show us the dicks. Whip them out. Get them hard.
I want to
And
see her go down on Riker. I want to see the first handshake, the first blowjob.
Yes, we greet each other with
the
blowjobs.
first duty is a blowjob. The thing I lost my train of thought. Well, whatever.
Yeah, thanks, Sam.
It's just on historical dick.
blowjobs. It's all blowjobs in my brain right now.
How do we say hello on this planet? Let me show you.
Oh, what I was gonna say is that
This
It's
shit
great.
is
Do you know how we say hello on this planet, Ken?
at the drop of
And we're back.
a hat.
needed a palate cleanser.
You don't think the
We
dick was
had a
enough?
palate cleanser.
Wow.
I broke Stan.
Wow. Poor Stanley.
Stop hitting that ball.
Hit the ball.
Leave Sohail and his ball alone.
It's a
Just
big
let the
It
man
looks like
play
you
with his
strung
ball.
one
up a
ball, but it's
tribble.
big.
You strung up and killed a tribble and put it on your head.
The episode not
Okay,
including
now it's
different
weird.
body types and everything
Yeah.
makes it a interesting episode to look at that time period and like just the social how much we've actually because things do suck, but it's nice to see how far we've come now from like this episode that had like a
See?
unibody.
See how far we've come.
It's things do suck, but
We're never gonna get past this episode,
Justice.
are we? We're never gonna pass this episode.
Let's see.
we've seen everything else.
Because it's
Show
the
me your thoughts.
horniest episode. We can't skip the horniest episode of the season.
I'm in favor.
Yeah. So the catalyst is ridiculous, but this is overall, I think, a great episode.
Yes, I agree.
Will loves it.
All right.
Thumbs up for the highest camel toe per capita of any TNG episode. The
Which
costumes
is
that the Ito wear are fucking terrible. They look like diapers. They're so bad, and everyone's like crotch looks like this ruched nightmare. It's absolutely awful, and it was
A high
so
bar.
distracting watching it because it was just the way the costume was put together on the men. It just split their balls, so you just see two things separated by ruching. It was bad. Those costumes were terrible. Those little napkins they were wearing. It was bad. So much camel toe.
Were
The
those
highest
the-
camel toe per capita of any TNG episode. So thumbs up.
Were those thesis costumes? Does anyone know?
Girl,
The guy
I
who
don't
did
know. I don't know who made them. Whatever I hope that person lost
I
their
gotta look
job
it up.
because they were
I
fucking
don't know if they
bad.
were or not. They probably were, actually.
I did like how the men had just like an axe with their titties out the whole time. That was really funny, and the women were still covered up. That was particularly funny to me. But like the
Also-
costumes are weird.
We need to see some of these outfits in Vegas.
Yes.
No.
First of all, the weather's right.
Listen,
That's true. That's really funny, actually.
that would be fucking hilarious. I would.
You must
I
have
would,
camel toe.
I would personally hate it just as not that body type. But
Girl,
if there's anything I will
it's fine.
do, it's anything for a bit. I will do
Fine.
anything for a bit.
It's totally fine.
We'll get them commissioned. They'll be cheap. There's not enough fabric.
Also, so the young people, I think, if this is correct, so there's Eric Matthew played first Edo boy, no name, and then David Graves played second Edo boy, parentheses, as David Michael Graves. What? Like,
Instead of
oh,
Second
that
Edo boy.
was yeah, that was how it was credited. But
they're
like-
both older than they appeared on So you're not a traveler, is what you're saying.
So David M. Graves is known for Venom, Fast X, and Captain America: Winter Soldier, but does not have a picture on IMDb. The other one is best known for Star Trek: The Next Generation.
That's
Half-naked
sad.
Edo boy. Yeah.
That is just an unnamed Edo boy. Yeah.
Like what?
Okay, so far for SGLV, we have Scant Day and Edo Day. Is that what I'm understanding?
And Twin
Well,
Twinning.
from what I can tell,
Twin
if, they-
twinning.
We have to do twaining.
if these guys showed up at a convention, they probably would be a hit.
I'm just saying, my husband wears far less of
They
gold than the
could
Edos wear when they're
get
just
it.
running around having a good day. So
Could get it.
Wait, we're not. We got a scant day and a what day at Reno? Because no, that's not.
we're doing Edo Day.
Edo Day.
We're doing Edo Day.
Justice.
Break out your pink washcloths. It's happening, people.
That's just not happening. But okay.
I mean, it was more of a peach, but whatever.
You know,
The battle.
did we thumbs?
We thumbed.
We
Yeah,
did
yeah, it was
we
a thumbs
thumbed
up, yeah,
Justice.
yeah.
It was a thumbs up because
No, the
it's fucking horny.
Stargazer
The battle. A vengeful Ferengi. I'm gonna try that
You got it.
again. I'm gonna give it one more.
You got it.
Take 7.
I believe in you.
A vengeful Ferengi captain returns Picard's long-lost ship, the Stargazer, after installing a mind-altering device.
He didn't install it. It was just there.
But I have to say, if
Drugs.
I'm gonna do a one-sentence episode recap. That's pretty much
That
it.
that was not the worst one.
Pretty spot on.
This is a thumbs up for me. Do we need to talk about it?
Nope. That's
no,
fine.
quite enjoyed
No,
it.
that's good.
So
Next.
Harold, we can't see you. You're just Q, but it doesn't matter because your score would be weighted anyway. Next episode is Haven. There is no description because Google hates
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
10, 12.
I was
Titan
outside
Q.
smoking
Yeah,
the,
that's
I was
yeah.
smoking the pat. Sorry about that.
Oh, fuck. Just kidding. Next episode is Hide and Q. Q gives superhuman powers. Okay, sure. To Riker
Vicious animal things.
and tells him his shipmates' wishes will be granted if he joins with the Q.
Thumbs down. Having Q back so soon was dumb.
Q should have been the season finale.
You know what? I actually have to disagree because I think it perfectly loops back to what Q was doing in episode 1, where he was testing them. And then he was like, fine, they passed all that. What happens if I sprinkle this little bit of, genie in here? I actually liked it. I think that he could have, this is going to be really different. I think they could have brought him back more to pepper in more temptations. What about this? What about that?
Sure. I think yes, him, because this is the only other one, right? In this season.
This season, yes.
Yeah, I think having him back so soon was a mistake, but if they had had him more as he's a through line, sure.
Yeah.
You've convinced me to be a thumb sideways.
This is also
Actually,
the first
I
time
like
we
it.
get. This is also the first time we get Yar somewhere other than the tactical station. She
Oh,
took
yes.
the con in this episode.
I thought this was an interesting episode about, how absolute power corrupts absolutely, with Riker getting the powers of the Q. I also liked a couple of lines. Every time someone serves me lemonade, I still say, an excellent thirst quencher. That, for some reason, that line still sticks with me about lemonade, which is weird because I'm weird. And then Worf's
Yes.
vicious
Noted for
animal-
Vegas.
Noted.
vicious animal things.
All right, let's see the thumbs for Hide and Q.
Real quick though, Hide and Q.
This episode looked like it was filmed in someone's garage. It was
Sure.
hard to get that.
It's
Like, what the
that-
fuck was this? It was
Like
like a
green
I like
color
this
sky.
trim
French,
and then a couple of pieces in front. It just
Have you-
the production value a -1. I think John Delancey's good in the episode, but
Have you seen
Weird,
the blooper
sideways.
where they're about to call action and all of a sudden a crew person comes out with a rake and starts raking the sand next to Data? It's kind of hilarious.
The
So
penalty block scene was nice.
folks, this is the first
between her
time
and-
I think we've had an actual tie. Do we round up or down?
Let's round up.
Okay. Then
Let's be generous to the thing that we love.
This is a thumbs up.
So in the Google listing, they do not have Haven. It is not on here.
Oh.
But
Which is a Troy Boy crime.
I found
That's weird.
this description that I think you should read because it is equally bad but also fucking fantastic.
How far do just keep going?
The whole thing.
Oh, fine.
just
All right,
from-
I'm in. All right, here we go. Oh God. right, here we go. Haven is about Deanna Troy's arranged marriage to Wyatt Miller, a man she hasn't seen since she was a child. This is going to happen. This is going to happen on. This is going to happen.
Do you
Okay,
need?
vodka is taking over my ability to read. This is going to happen on a ship where she serves with her Imzadi, her beloved. To be fair, both Riker and Picard show hints of discomfort with the position she is in.
Just as bad as the Google ones, but
It's not
also,
worse.
but like
It goes
No,
to
way
show you
better.
that if you go longer in the description than what Google provides, it doesn't get better.
No, that's true.
So yeah,
Troy boy.
Troy boy. Well, where's your tea? Thank you. So
Matt's not a Troy boy, apparently.
the Trevor summary is Deanna's arranged marriage shows up. It's the first, not the first time, the second time, though first time filmed. We get Armin Shimmerman in Star Trek as the creepy box that scares the chief of security when it dispenses jewelry. Let's not go there.
I love her.
Apparently the security chief is me. So anywho, prearranged marriage. He shows up with our first appearance of the one and only daughter of the fifth house, holder of the sacred chalice of Reeks, heir of the holy rings of Beta Zed, Luoxana Troy. And yeah, so we get Luoxana, we get Armin, and we get a weird actor playing Wyatt who
Also, I
tried
would
his
like-
hardest with what he was given, but it didn't really land.
Wyatt
And also is
dreamy.
cute as shit. He is
he's
adorable,
super
and
dreamy.
I would love an arranged marriage to him.
Same.
All right, you can have it. He and also the tallest transporter chief in Star Trek history. I don't know if you remember that scene, but Homeboy was very tall, or Wyatt was very short, or both. Anywho, we also get Riker's idea of a fun holodeck program is just sitting on a rock in the desert.
Yeah.
And we also get naked marriages.
Naked marriages
And,
Betazoid, gratitude, boom,
Yeah.
during the dining experience,
Let's
and
just-
Luoxana's plant pet.
that
Oh, yeah.
entire scene was well worth it. That
It's
whole
fabulous.
scene and Data saying, "Please continue." Like,
Could you please continue with the petty bickering?
Whole
Mm.
thing, fantastic.
And Yar's hair in this scene. I'm sorry,
Oh, that coif. That
What was
she-
happening?
That like
right? She was like, "Oh,
"Listen,
I'm going to a
gonna
formal
spice it
dinner.
up."
Let me break out the 24th century Aquanet."
Hair, just blow dryer and Aquanet is all she
Mhm.
used.
Oh yeah, no. So, anyone thoughts, feelings? I kind of have a fondness for this just because of Luoxana, but
I do too.
I have
Same.
a
Thumbs up.
daughters of the
Same.
fifth house bias.
As a young Desi boy growing up in a Desi culture, I could relate to the whole arranged marriage thing, and I was like, "Oh my god, I wonder if my parents would do that to me." They're trying, but they didn't.
I wonder what the issue might have been. So
I was gonna say arranged marriage to who? Another man? That's fun.
I wish I believe modern Indian folks do that now. It's like cool, but I was not
That's
born
fun.
in the time for that. So
I mean,
But
the
I
way my
still
dating
don't
life
think I
goes,
would've
that's the
wanted
way I'm
to-
gonna get married.
I have a question: love marriages or arranged marriages? Your thoughts? Like, is there a difference? Do you think?
I'm just gonna marry for money.
Yeah, I would love to marry for money.
I
Will
will
and I are on
say-
the same tip. No, just
as
My mother,
other-
my mother was dying, and she said, "Honey, don't get married for love. Get married for money." So
I
I'm just
think-
carrying on my mother's dying wish.
I'm not sure how long Krista's been with her husband, but I think is like the potentially second longest running salon relationship. I will say, if my mother could have picked my spouse, it probably would end up my spouse. Like I don't know that she would have necessarily pictured him specifically, but like my husband's humor is exact. Like my mom thinks my husband is hilarious. She thinks he's adorable. She loves the way that he is toward me. Like I think she would pick someone like him for me if she could. We're just talking about arranged marriages.
Yeah, I'm coming back into this thinking about. So my mom divorced my dad the first time, so they've been divorced twice. the first time happens, I am the product of makeup sex. Because they had, I am 4 years between my sister and I. And
That's a
she
good
said she
thing.
realized that there were bigger assholes out there. And then fast forward many years later, she divorces him again. And she's like, yeah, I was right. Yeah, I was right. So if my mother were to pick my spouse, it would be, he's good enough.
You know, before my mother passed, that's basically what she said. She said, I mean, you're with him and you two are living together and you've been
Jesus.
together a while. And so I think that you should just make it work.
My mom wouldn't have cared as long as he was rich.
Yeah.
Oh, see,
She,
my
oh, does
mother
he
was
have
Then
more
money?
Mom
Oh,
Hart is
honey.
correct.
Oh, honey, does he
What
have
you mean?
money? Okay, great. Yeah.
My mother settled for, well, he has more than you do, so that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, he should
I want to
have
make
one
a
of.
joke, but my father died, so I can't make a mother dying joke. So, oh well.
He should have one of two.
Oh, so sad for you. Your mom's still living. Fuck off, Sahel.
So I think the salon consensus is that the mate should have one of two very large things, and a bank account is one of those two things. Moving on. What are our thumbs for
Haven?
For Haven? Show me your thumbs. Awesome.
Fireworks.
All right, folks. We're moving on to an award-winning episode. That is actually delightful, but it gets a lot more hype than I think it should in many instances. The Big Goodbye. The captain and 3 crew members are trapped in San Francisco in 1941. No, they're not. Due to a holodeck malfunction. They're trapped on the holodeck. Okay, anyway. Where they're held hostage by murderous gangsters.
Cyrus Redblock.
One of whom.
Isn't this
Also
the episode where he was like, where Picard is automobiles?
Yes.
Like,
And a city block, because apparently they don't have blocks anymore because no one walks. I don't know what the fuck I don't know what happened there. Like, there are still city blocks in the 24th century.
The thing that I loved about this was that Beverly clearly thought she was going on a date with the captain, and he's like, oh, this other random person would enjoy it too. And I
imagine you're going to get some in 1941 San Francisco, and your date brings along an historian.
You know what?
She did dress up for it. She dressed the part for that.
She even brought chewing gum. She didn't know what the fuck it was, but she brought them.
I would have been like, oh, the captain's kinky. Because wasn't the guy handsome too?
You can get it.
Handsome enough.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm very single. Whatever. Slide into the DMs.
I'm about as single
I
as
got
it
very
gets.
quiet. Cheers to the singles.
With water. Cheers to
Except
the singles.
To all the single ladies.
This episode was like
actually the.
What? I would say this season's really weird because like most of the episodes, I don't think they're supposed to intentionally be funny, but like they're funny in the worst possible way of being funny. Like some of these are like, was this supposed to, like, I'm suspicious of the intention. Like they inadvertently become very funny, but then also unfunny at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. Like this is one where I was like, are there jokes happening or is this just bad? Like what's going on here? Like it's like unintentionally silly, but bad at being. It's a lot of layers. I don't know if we can write a show that does this. This kind of like unintentionally funny, but it's also unfunny at the same time. And I hate this episode. I hate it.
Really?
It was so watching it, I literally fast forwarded because I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
What was up with the people that were like lepers, I guess, like future space lepers, I guess? It was kind of a weird thing, right? That was a weird part of it. I remember that.
Confusing them with
It was
Haven.
weird.
That's Haven.
Oh, I am totally confused.
No.
That's okay.
No. Oh, what are we talking? I'm
Big goodbye.
There was something happening. They were on their way somewhere when the malfunction holiday happened.
So Hale Miller is still caught up
I'm
on
still over.
the Wyatt
I'm
episode.
still over there. Sorry.
Oh.
No, they were on their way to meet the Horata, who apparently required Picard to read their language as it translated into English instead
Yes.
of him just reading it phonetically?
Yeah.
Where he was like, unless it's a Z followed by an inverted T, which makes an S sound, like just write it out like the way you would say
Just
it.
right. Yeah.
It's like you don't even need to be in the 24th century to do that.
Yeah.
About the big goodbye, but that's the real episode we're talking about. I apologize. for
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
That was a big
Yeah.
yes. With
I don't
the
know if this was an attempt. I don't know if this, to your point, Will. I don't know if this was an attempt to do something like a piece of the action, and maybe
Yeah,
trying
that's what I
to
was
do
thinking.
some humorous-esque stuff. But
It just
It had piece of the action
reads funny because
Yeah.
I don't know why there's just so many episodes this season just generally that like the last Outpost, there's things that happened that I don't think they intended to be funny, but they end up being funny, but it's bad funny. Like
Yeah.
I
You know,
don't understand the like the physics involved that caused this to kind of go this full circle thing where it's funny now it's not funny again. Like I don't
Mhm.
understand it.
Hear me out though. I firmly
No.
believe that we need.
We're not muted. I'm sorry. I was
Keep going.
joking. I promise I was joking.
Wow.
You are such
Wow.
a cunt.
I'm very
Anyway.
tipsy.
He's a
She's in
problematic.
Palm Springs and
I
now she's
think
a
that
whole
that
other
is actu-
person.
I'm very tipsy,
I
and I was
think-
scrolling our new audience members' Twitter feed.
She's not like this in Los Angeles.
He's-
Our
he's-
new
Yeah,
audience.
I'm
you
not
need to put
muted.
back in your place.
Who's our new
Anyway,
audience
all I
member?
was gonna say is I had a genuine thing to an enlightened comment that I think that the new Star Treks, like Picard, all of the new stuff, needs to have a certain level of ridiculous camp, and I think that's what season 1 of TNG has.
You need
in
more
spades.
episodes.
They
That's
do.
why I
We
want them
need
to have
filler
more than 10
episodes.
episodes.
There's also
We need filler episodes.
with TNG season 1, and Ken, do not come for me, please. There's the camp is a certain attempt to tie in the campiness of the original series. There was a certain amount of camp that is just indicative in all 60s television. It's not unique to Star Trek.
Yeah.
But there's a
No,
camp.
these are episodes that were
Yes.
written 20 years ago. Like
Yeah,
they do read as they were written 20 years ago.
And they were trying
30
to
years- 30
appease
years ago.
an audience that was clearly rejecting them before they ever hit the air. So I think there's something to be said for it.
35. Oh my god, these episodes are 35 years old, Will.
Mhm, That's yeah.
They sure
Palm
are.
Springs will feel younger.
I do.
So
I live in LA, and I feel some kind of way there. But here in Palm Springs, I feel
you feel
10 years
the
lighter.
years just drop off.
You feel young as when the world was new.
I don't know what you're quoting, but sure.
That's Janice. That's Star Trek 2. That was
Oh, right. Oh,
oh,
by the way, speaking of Star Trek 2, I might be
Carol
picking up a
Marcus.
dog
You love
next
Carol
week.
Marcus.
Really? What does that have to do with Star
dog?
Trek 2?
And the name that I am considering, to be confirmed by the personality of this dog, is Dr. Carol Marcus.
Doctor.
I like that it's
Carol
Dr.
Marcus.
Carol Marcus.
That's really
That's
funny.
like the
I'm going to
best
call her
name.
Carol, but her full name is going to be Dr. Carol Marcus.
Wow.
I lost a bet. I lost a bet in college where I was supposed to name my first dog Dr. Peter Venkman, but I decided that Walter was much better. So Dr.
That's
Peter
great.
Venkman was supposed to be Walter's name, and I decided not to do it. I did get hell after I announced Walter. That people were like, that dog's supposed to his name is supposed to be Dr. Peter Venkman, and I was like, yeah, no.
I want to get a mastiff and call him
Wow.
Mr. Home.
So Joel,
that's good too.
I almost did this. I was almost going to say Doctor, but like I was laying in bed last night thinking about it. I was like, and I was saying out loud, Doctor. Oh, that's funny. But then like I kept slipping over it, and I was like, it's going to be it's too much. But in my head,
my cousin and his husband, their dog is named Benjamin Banneker, PH Dog.
That's fabulous.
Lorne Michaels apparently had a dog forever ago named Mr. President. I think it's hilarious. Like, Mr. President, Mr. President.
Listen,
That's funny.
If it's not Dr. Carol Marcus, it needs to be Captain Philippa Louvois.
So,
Empress Jojo.
So my
What's
original
on a
thought was
Troy?
Kira or Emily, something. So like, because normally I don't name pets. I don't give pets human names. My cat was Fries. My first dog was Midnight. My last dog was Danish, and it's a dog turned out a toast. It's cute, Ryan. I like it. I'm having a moment with our new audience member.
Yeah.
Welcome to the salon, Ryan. Thank you for joining us. Let me highlight this. But yeah, if not, Dr. Carol Marcus.
I mean, I really just want to. Can I go to the first vet appointment so I can like sit there just so that they would come out and read the name, Dr. Carol Marcus?
Dr. Carol
Her
Marcus.
name is Dr. Carol Marcus.
If you could say the whole thing, that'd be great.
So great.
Okay, so we still haven't done thumbs for the big goodbye. I'm actually a thumbs up for the big goodbye. If you want to Peabody,
Oh, we moved Will slightly.
sideways. Up,
I
up,
still don't like it. But like,
So Hale, we need you. Actually, it really doesn't matter because it'll be a up no matter what.
We need you.
All right. So Hale, I'm considering you just a sideways, and it's landing at a plus. Okay, so it's a thumbs up.
Yay.
Next episode. Oh, there he is. Thank you. We were worried. Call or text next time. Next episode, data lore. Okay, Data's Android look-alike.
these are so bad.
Stan
His
from
Android look-alike?
Stan's in the kitchen and he just screamed, "What?" I should have put a mic in there. Data's Android look-alike, played by Brent Spiner, threatens to feed the Enterprise passengers and crew to a deadly crystal entity. So, for those of you that actually give a fuck,
Accurate but terrible.
beyond this horrible, I don't know who wrote this description, this is the introduction of lore, which is super fun. We get to yes, I know, Ryan, we're with you. This is the introduction of lore, a character who just keeps coming back for more lore. Introduction of lore. Introduction of Brent Spiner playing anything and everything related to Dr. Sung, who isn't a woman.
We don't have enough soons.
Yeah,
A fistful of Soongs.
It's also, and I'm with him, and I can only imagine how he feels or felt at the time. It's the introduction of a horrible thing that people repeat over and over again, which is the line "Shut up, Wesley," which is devastating for Will because
they wrote it in the book that I'm reading right now too, and I was just like, this is weird.
I mean, the kid was like, what, 14 or
14?
14 or 15 on set, and they were like, hey, let's make this character even more hated by having his mother scream "shut up" at him. Yeah, so that was horrible. The actor has a lot of feelings about it, and I totally understand and respect those feelings. So it introduced some hostility toward the character of Wesley Crusher that hadn't been introduced yet, although there were certainly people being critical.
He was critical to this episode.
Yeah, he was critical to the episode. I actually enjoyed the overall story. Some of the acting was a little all over the place, but also apparently Dr. Crusher's lab coat is flammable, which is something you wouldn't look for in a lab coat.
I love the season 1 lab coat, but then I'm like, oh wait, it's flammable?
Like if you're gonna have a flame retardant outfit, you would think it would be something you'd wear in a laboratory.
I would think that. Anywho,
it did show us a badass side of Beverly that we hadn't really seen yet in season 1.
Yeah.
Which means at all. So anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling. Thoughts,
thumbs.
What do we think? I'm
I
actually
kind of like this episode.
I
like
it.
this episode.
Sideways.
It's good.
Matt, what's happening to your
evil
fingers
twin.
and face?
I'm never a huge lore fan. I'm just not.
Interesting.
He never. I don't
Sorry.
know why. It just never resonated with me.
I didn't like
me, I'm
Sabrina
always
on Bewitched. I understand.
But I did love seeing Chris
Not
Lawrence.
ashamed.
Lore
The
peaks
cuntiest
early,
character
Matt.
in all of Star Trek. The Chris
Oh,
Lawrence.
Cuntiest
Wait, you
character.
didn't like Serena?
We didn't. No,
Pandora Spox?
I didn't think she was groovy at all.
All right, let's do the thumbs for that episode and move on. We're bleeding audience here.
Are we?
No, we're down 3.
You're just being sassy.
All I
We
care
had
about is
9
likes.
at one point.
We had
All right.
16 at one point. It was a
Prepare-
salon high.
Prepare.
Wow.
Speaking of being high,
It's because we're integrated into Twitter now.
you'd
We
have to be
do
high to
really.
like- you'd have to be high to like this next episode.
Oh, is that
Lies.
where Ryan is? Because we were
Yep.
looking for him on YouTube and we couldn't find him.
He is on Twitter.
Everybody stop stalking Ryan.
Everybody calm down. But also Ryan, welcome. Hopefully nobody's too weird with you. Move on.
God.
I don't even know who Ryan is. I don't know Ryan from Adam or
Parentheses sips cocktail.
Angel One.
The Enterprise
Ah,
travels to
Angel
Angel One, a planet run by women,
What?
to search for survivors from a Federation freighter disabled 7 years earlier. It's important that you know that it was 7 years earlier by an asteroid collision. It's also important you understand what crippled the freighter.
So one thing, Ryan, you go wherever you want. If you want to be on, that makes sense. Twitter or YouTube. But no, that makes sense. Thank you, Matt, for recruiting.
Matt brought him here. Okay.
From which
So now
account?
we all have to apologize to you, and that's going to be another 15 minutes now.
Thumbs ups.
This would be an example of Matt not being a dumb bitch.
So here's what
I got your back though.
Here's what I love about Angel One. Flipping the script. Yes, love it. Great. Here's what I don't like. Let's just make the women like men are on Earth. Like that's not a good enough premise. Like, it's like, what if women sucked? Like, no, come on. Like, so dumb. If we needed to see what a matriarchal society actually looks like. Now, I do like seeing. I don't like a monolith. The leader of Angel One being kind of a see you next Tuesday. Love it. Love everything about it. But like just like they were painted as like here's this. I'm gonna say a phrase that I would never normally use, but there's like the aide, like
Trent.
let's make Trent a sissy la and like what? Like it makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like he is the top aide to the leader of this planet, and yet is just a sex thing. Like it make it make sense. I want it to make sense, but yes, seeing Riker's titties, cheers to that.
Here's to Riker's titties.
Yeah, pinch those nips, Will.
Ugh.
Oh,
I'm on the Wikipedia page for this episode. I was curious as to like this episode in particular. I was curious about where this came from, and apparently it was written as a commentary on the apartheid in South Africa.
What?
Shocking!
Okay.
No.
Shocking.
Commodore Rick.
And the men were supposed to represent Black people. That is the most wild thing I've ever read, and that is
Will-
only executive producers.
Well, that almost made Matt spit for the first time in 10 and a half years.
Oh, longer than that.
He would never.
That's
Guys,
20
I'm
years.
so proud
I
of
mean,
us. We recruited someone off of Elon Musk's platform.
Oh,
To
that was actually
YouTube.
funny,
We're doing
Trav.
great.
Actually,
I'm more
have I
proud
not
of
been
us that
funny
we have
before now?
somehow managed. We've managed to achieve 0 viewers.
Oh,
Yep. We sure have.
This is incredible. Anyway, this episode
is an
thumbs
incredible
down.
night.
It's bad. I love how this episode's like we're going to be really progressive and write about the women are the ruler of the planet and inadvertently write one of the most sexist episodes of Star Trek that's ever been
Yes.
written.
Yeah,
It's like
absolutely.
and
I want to love it. I want to, but I just can't. So let's see those thumbs.
Now,
No.
these are episodes I would never watch again.
thumbs up for the
Like, I
Riddies.
totally
We got
skipped
Riker
season one.
titties. We got Riddies. We got a Riddies.
Yeah,
We
Riddies.
got Riddies.
Hashtag
We
Riddies.
also got
Wait, I didn't see your thumbs.
Riker
Show me your
ripples. We
thumbs.
got some Riker
Down.
nipples.
Down.
Down. But also,
So Hale and Matt, I need your thumbs.
Oh yeah, no, that's.
All right. It's a stinker.
I don't even
Okay, y'all.
remember it. If I'm completely
It is
honest,
a
I do not remember
stinker.
that episode.
No, me neither.
I
It
just
is a
remember the
Many of these
outfit.
first season
I remember the
episodes, I think I've
titties,
only watched
the
once.
riddies.
Show those ratties. Those are ratties.
Hang on, everybody.
did not-
Technology.
Is he
One
an
thing we
innie
did
or
not
an
get
outie?
enough of.
We need
The
to-
ratties.
Oh, this was fun. Here we go.
11001001.
They're so good at this.
SOS.
What up?
Like
what
when
up,
they're
Barners?
together as they drink.
The enter-
Oh, my mic was on. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Still is. We can
It's still, it,
when you think like this,
Still is
Kyle, we
on.
can hear you.
and in fact, it still is.
I did that on purpose.
Inside
On
thought, sweetie.
purpose.
The Enterprise docks at a starbase for
Here,
repairs.
let me help. Hang on.
What's happening?
I'm gonna help Sohel here.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Sissy Lala is muted. The Enterprise docks at a starbase for repairs, where it is commandeered by a race of technologically linked aliens intent on using the vessel for their own purposes. That is basically the best description that I've.
This is actually that's good.
IMDb's description of the episode.
This is one of the first episodes where we see Tasha-ing very well. She's like, wait, some shit's going on. We got to do this. We got to do that. Like she's making great recommendations because she was an excellent security chief. If they gave her more of this shit to do, we probably would have kept Tasha on the show.
She also got super sassy with Commander Quinteros and made me think that Quinteros was involved with the whole thing from the get-go.
Yeah.
This is a thumbs up.
I'm a huge fan of this. I'm a huge fan of the
I think
evacuation.
it's the best of the season. This is my pick for the season. This is my pick for the season. It's my favorite episode.
Sequence.
So I think it's mine too.
Riker telling Wes that he has the bridge, like that just gave me like I was like, oh my god, I could command a starship when I was like 12.
I like that you broke your voice.
That's how I talked when I was 12. Actually, my voice didn't change until I was like 13. It was super awkward.
Good special effects on this one, and good reuse of the space dock. Even though I think people mentioned that it was sort of out of whack, that the Enterprise D was way too big for the space dock.
Yeah. But it could be a bigger space dock because it wasn't the same space dock. It was
that doesn't like 80 years, right? Since
Starbase 74.
Yeah, they put in new doors.
79.
I would, you would assume that they would increase the size of the doors as they increase.
It might
the
even
size
be
of the
Space
ships.
Dock 2. It could be Space Dock 2, and it's just a bigger. It looks the same, but it's bigger.
Space Dock's at Earth. This is Starbase 79, so it's in a different
Oh
location.
yeah, right on. That's right.
Hey, with a couple hits of poppers, anything will fit in my doors.
Problematic gay alert.
Problematic gay alert.
Do it. I need it.
Hey,
Do it. I need it. Was a perfect segue into that too. Thank you, Will. Thank you for you gave us.
Mr. Scott. I'm working on it, sir.
I'm working. Sir, I'm working on it.
That's what she said.
I fucking love that sequence.
Yeah, it's a great sequence, and it gives us a lot of manscant.
Yes,
this episode gives us a shitload of manscant.
And if this episode, if Warner Brothers,
a lot of people stopping in hallways and listening to messages like, "What?"
Yeah,
everyone looks up when they hear this. What? An intercom? This is new and futuristic.
And if Warner Brothers had owned Star Trek here, would have been the episode may have been called "What's Up, Space Dock."
Oh my god, I'm so frightened of the Warner Brothers thing. But
oh god.
No. We will circle back.
Yeah,
I promise.
No, wait. I can't let that moment pass. Ken, that was one of your worst.
That was great.
It was one of your worst. And like I cannot let it go unchecked.
That hurt.
I
That
love you
physically
so
hurt
much.
Moving on.
Yes, let's move on.
Something I would not describe this salon as too short a season.
Possible name was too long a season for the salon, but Ken aptly named this Salon of Evil
and runner up for Dr. Carol Marcus.
Yes,
too short a season. Come.
Gross.
A vengeful antagonist calls upon an elderly Starfleet admiral, professing to need his help in negotiating the release of hostages.
Another in a long line of bad admirals.
I thought this was a stupid episode when I was a kid, but I love it as an old adult, like as an older adult. It like I can relate to it in a different way.
I really think the only problem with this episode is the terrible acting of that guest actor.
I love
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
The
he's
story, the
awful.
story is actually really good.
He like like he eats the scenery raw. Like he's just so crazy.
Which guest actor?
He-
The Admiral or the guy?
like when
holding
he's
the-
like, I don't want to do it in
Okay.
person.
The
But he's like
Admiral especially.
wild. It's amazing. I love it.
The villain at least had
I'm an
being-
old man. It's so
Yeah.
weird. It's like he's like constantly chewing on nothing. It's like, what are you doing? Like, I'm here on the dot.
He would've-
And like, what the
he would've made a
fuck?
great
It's so
Twain.
weird. And then he just the makeup's bad. He looks like a burn victim. It's so bad.
I bet he can really
So
Twain.
bad.
Though. You know he can
Oh.
Twain.
Adam
Oh.
Guinan.
Madam.
Madam God. Yeah.
Look here.
Mad
think
props to his wife, who, despite being in
Oh,
the
she was great
24th
too.
century, played everything like she was in the 1950s.
Yeah.
This ship even has a school. Like, oh, okay.
I don't remember this episode very much.
I
Yeah.
wonder, is there? I
Tending
just
to the school children.
I had my own credit card.
Right. Super weird.
Admiral drank too much, Jameson.
Matt's
What?
face right I can see Matt straining. It's like, oh, the sexism is so awful in this country. I can feel you. I can feel you having pain for women.
That face I'm noticing comes out more and more in recent times. It hurts to.
In recent
Uh,
times.
Oh, America.
Oh, heavens. We're all doomed. So too short a season. Thoughts, feelings, thumbs.
You know what? I like this episode. It's the Admiral. Like the story is fine. It's the Admiral's acting. That's
This is our first
Yeah,
official.
that's why it's getting a thumbs down for me because
Ah.
that guy is fucking bad.
I'm in charge of this.
I'm an old admiral on the ship. Also, the admiral uniforms are fucking ugly.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
Those were-
those
they were
things
those
are
were-
terrible.
fucking
those were
gross. They
I-
the
I-
asymmetrical whatever.
Well, Ryan,
bad.
that's true. This is the episode DC Fontana quit on, and then that is
Yeah.
they lost.
Oh wow.
They lost a lot when she left. She's like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
All right,
That's a
folks.
shame.
We're moving on. When the bow breaks,
Oh,
the inhabitants of an advanced planet who can no longer reproduce plan to kidnap children from the Enterprise to rebuild their race.
We cannot let you do that. All right, down, thumbs
That's-
down.
They just need to
Actually,
find.
not
I think this
They just
was
need to
them
find a
telling
planet full of
on-
Irishmen and give them that. That happened the
Right.
next season.
I think
Just-
this was them telling on the Hollywood sex trafficking rings in a weird way. Like
Okay, that got dark.
Sure did.
Jesus.
Especially for someone in a Santa hat.
because like they were so powerful back then that you couldn't even crack into like
Merry
information about them.
Christmas.
So hey,
Yeah.
show me on the doll where the bad man touched you.
Okay, sorry. I'm just saying. It's a dark episode. These people steal children because they can't. Yeah,
Yep.
it's just it's all like
And then
it's-
Wesley saves the day again.
he does.
Stealing children, including Will Wheaton's siblings.
Yep.
They were two of the kids, his brother and sister.
So
They didn't call it, and the children shall lead. 2. And the children shall
Oh,
lead.
God.
I
No one chanted in order to summon a weird spirit.
So I normally hate children episodes. I don't think child actors are very good. It's rare that they are good. Beyond like Will Wheaton in this season is like 15, like that full teenager. I'm talking about actual kid actors that are not usually great. I love the concept of this episode. The execution is really good. And one thing that I loved is that they didn't take all of the children. They took children that like they had scanned and like they were like, oh, there's an artist, there's a musician. That I always found interesting. And at risk of getting a copyright infringement, I want to share my screen to just listen to one moment. I love this music from this episode.
Sorry. Did I break it?
No, it's all right. You can't.
And
And that's not it.
and that is what
That's not the music.
what I love in this moment is like if that had been planned, it would have been great, but it wasn't planned, and it's also great. The music from that moment, the actual music from that moment, is like heartwarming to me, and I love it very much. This is hilarious. The actual music in that episode is beautiful, but that was fucking hilarious. This is really happening.
I don't even know what just happened.
Yeah, I have no idea. I think
We don't have to worry about a copyright infringement anymore.
All I
Oh my
heard
God.
was ass.
Yes.
Wow.
What did you hear?
It was ass. You didn't hear it?
No,
Oh yeah.
No.
I was keeping score.
I will find the real clip and tweet it out later, but yes, Joel, I am broken in so many ways.
Yes.
But like a beautiful mosaic.
I am thriving.
I got
Let's see
so
the
busy from
thumbs for
laughing.
when the bow
Just-
breaks.
I love when the bell breaks.
When the
It's
bow
good.
breaks like Stanley has broken.
There's one interesting thing about AI.
Will, we
that
need you.
this episode,
Oh, we
Uh,
lost
totally-
Will.
what happened? Oh,
Wait, Will, are you frozen?
Will's frozen.
Oh,
no.
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 Will froze grumpy.
Well, he
I'll
gave it a
get
thumbs up.
Well, it's actually a thumbs up.
The carving thing always fascinated me as a kid, like the kid who carves like the,
Pumpkin?
with that device. Yeah, but like he carves like a dolphin or something, right? What?
Yeah.
Like the thing. But then
Fish. It's not
someone
a fish.
challenges. I think someone challenges it. Like, is he really doing it? And I thought that was an interesting concept. And now, like with artificial intelligence, we may get a device like that where you can just kind of like imagine, and it's connected somehow to your expression, and you can actually carve out this thing using this tool. It might be an interesting way to kind of do things.
We
in the
still won't
future.
have universal health care, but we might have that.
That's true. No, we will have it. We will have that. Please, we
For
must.
those of
have
you
it.
watching from Canada, we're
Yeah,
better.
it's true.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
but they're trying to take it away everywhere. I think aren't there these weird folks that are
Mm.
trying to take it away in England, that they're like challenging the NHS, trying to make it private and stuff. So yeah, it's weird.
People
Weird
suck.
times. Sorry. And I did get dark. I apologize. But it was like, I guess I'm jaded now.
That's what it is, yeah.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
look, Will's
Will.
back.
Will's beaming
Will's
back in.
Back.
Will's trying to beam back in.
Screw
Will.
it, share.
Someone's beaming down to the
Sorry.
wall.
Who's the annular
Trying
confinement
to.
beam?
Something's
That's
obstructing
the summary for this episode.
Yeah,
God.
Joanne, no, who said that? Was that
it was
Ryan?
Ryan.
Oh my God, Ryan. It's
Ryan
your
gets
first time
points.
present, and you're getting bonus points.
Oh,
Screw healthcare.
I hate that AI is coming for creative shit. I'm like, can we let AI analyze the numbers? We don't need David Zaslav. We need artists. Next episode.
Home soil. Another episode. I
Prepare
have
to
no idea
point
what
your
it is.
thumbs downward, people. Home soil. A powerful microscopic life form declares war on humans, which is not at all what they did. Takes over the Enterprise lab and computers and threatens to destroy the ship. It didn't really do that either.
Do we need to talk about this one?
I don't even know what
I
this is.
kinda-
let's
It's
just...
a thumbs down, but I love the like when like they use that laser at one point when Data
Laser.
does, and that technician's like, oh come on, like the bewilderment of this this like people on this research facility and the Enterprise crew coming in and fucking everything up was or the wherever they're doing so funny, especially that
Although-
guy's like, oh come on man, like
And also this great line.
yes,
that
ugly
is
dirty
one-
Ugly
bags
bags of
mostly
mostly
water.
water.
But-
ugly carbon-based bags of mostly water.
Also,
Mhm.
Riker talking to the only female member of the terraforming team. And he says, it's very beautiful. I could arrange for you to see it sometime. And she says, I'd like that.
He's
I'm
such
like,
a
yes,
flirt.
yeah, girl. The rest of us agree with you.
Yes.
We would like to see it as well.
Riker in this first season is wild too, because for many reasons, but he had a lot of shout acting going on.
Mm.
I meant to bring that up earlier with in the last outpost.
Yes.
Like he will talk like this, and then he will talk like this, and then he will talk like this, and then what do you mean, Data? And then he will talk like this, and like within 3 lines of dialogue, he shouts 6 times and whispers twice.
Also, how old is Jonathan Frakes?
60s.
No, 70 something.
I don't.
He's in his late 70s.
He was in he was in his mid 30s, I think. During this.
Jonathan Frakes is currently
He's such a stud. Sorry if
Finding
you're
it.
offended by that, Mr. Frank.
71.
Jonathan Frakes is currently 71 years old, and he can still get it. In
Yes.
my opinion. Sorry.
He's handsome.
And anyone else 70 living in the Palm Springs area, back off.
Riker can put his leg over my chair.
Anyone.
Anyone, literally anyone. Home soil. Did we give this a thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
Yes.
I gave it thumbs
Yeah,
down.
it's a-
Then right up.
I
I
like
like
the
the
sci-fi
sci-fi.
stuff. It's a sideways.
All right, coming of age. Wesley takes the grueling Starfleet Academy entrance exam, while Picard finds himself the subject of an investigation into his competence. Also, not an accurate description of that investigation. So this introduces two characters who will show up later in a very gory episode, a very special,
Very
terrible
80s episode.
of Star Trek: The Next Generation. But this gives us Lieutenant Commander Dexter Remick and Admiral Gregory Quinn.
His first name is Dexter.
I'm not lying.
They wanted us to hate him, and I did.
I actually back then assumed he was going to be Yar's replacement because we had just found out Denise was leaving the show when that show, like a weird, like not yet, like yeah. Anyway, moral of the story, because at the end of this episode, he's like, "I would love to do a tour on the Enterprise." I assumed he was going to show up. That was me, and I was a kid and I was dumb. So yeah, coming of age. Wes has an extremely attractive friend named Jake Curlin, who basically steals a shuttle during the midst of an IG investigation on the ship, and then they kiss. Anywho, Jake steals a shuttle, almost dies, but Picard saves him. Wesley takes a test, gets a little horny because it's season 1, with one of his test mates.
As it should.
Is that a word? Test mate?
Is this the one with like the fire and having to rescue him in the fire and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or
Frozen.
Yes. For some strange reason, there's a pipe running through that starbase with a large amount of liquid nitrogen or something.
He could only save one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, the fish dude with the harmonica. That was cool. He came back a couple times.
This one was a little all over the place. The investigation was interesting, and the first time TNG really tried to tie 2 episodes together by hinting that the conspiracy existed and then giving us the conspiracy toward the end. They just didn't really land that particular plane with blowing up people and bugs crawling out of people's mouths. But the setup was nice. Anyone else? I have thumbs. I have thumbs on this one. Anyone else?
I think it's sideways.
Sit down. Those tests make no sense. They made no fucking sense. Like they wouldn't have actually resulted in anything.
Well,
they're just anyway.
Well, what is the only ratio between matter and antimatter?
Your mom's chunky ass.
It's 1 to 1. It's 1 to 1. One cheek to one cheek. It was a trick question. And it was asked in the exam. Anyway, no one cares.
I know my ass would not. If I lived in the 21st century, my fucking ass would not be in Starfleet. Absolutely not.
Trevor, I got it, and it was such a bad thing for them to even put in there. It just wasn't worth.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Okay. Heart of Glory.
I love you.
When Klingon fugitives hijack the ship, Worf finds his loyalties divided between the Enterprise and his powerful Klingon heritage.
I'm gonna say something.
Is what?
I'm gonna say something.
I'm gone.
If you see something.
This is a good Worf episode. It's a bad episode, and it's getting a sideways from me, but it is a good Worf episode.
It's getting a thumbs up for me. I kind of love this one.
Yeah, it's getting a thumbs up.
I hated the Klingon stuff. I still kind of am not that interested in the Klingon stuff. It was really great in Star Trek 6. That's about it.
On Armstrong, come on now.
Oh no, Discovery made them interesting. I have to say, Discovery brought a little. I got a little bit interested.
Deep Space Nine was great with the Klingons. How are you?
No.
What are you talking about?
It just brought the classic Klingons, like, and then there was
Listen, you sissy la.
I did not mean to make that a thing.
It's a thing now.
It's
on screen.
It really shouldn't be. That's not something we should say.
It does sound problematic, but
it is problematic.
Ken,
If you
had
give me
thoughts
the
on-
alert, I'll change it.
This I thought this was a good episode. I like this episode. I like that it brought back the classic Klingon warship configuration. I point back here because I have one back here. I thought that was cool, and that it was this was the one where the ship was trapped, right? It was coming. They were frozen. Is this the one where they were frozen? The Klingons were frozen.
No, they were on a derelict freighter, and it turned out that their ship was destroyed, and they
Same
Well,
set
there-
though.
But
Same,
there
very
is an
same
episode.
premise.
Is there not an episode? Now that's the episode with
We'll get
Tamar.
there.
You're
That-
jumping in.
Yeah.
Tamar. Yeah.
I'm not.
Wait,
I'm
there's
not
also the
highlighting,
episode in
but yes.
Voyager, though.
I mean, he's not wrong. Yeah. It gets us the whole it. Did it introduce the Klingon death ritual? I believe it did. The howling.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
introduced
Here's
here.
the title
Yeah.
to Cock of Glory, and it's a winner.
It gave us a lot of Worf biographical background, which was kind of
It's where they scream into the sky. Yeah.
yeah.
That
I
was
think it-
cool.
I
I,
think that's
remember
a,
that. I'll give it that. That was a cool thing.
And it demonstrated that Yar is the only effective security officer on the Enterprise because everyone else got shot. Ken just
Yeah.
screamed yes from, or Stan just screamed yes from the kitchen.
So I watched this episode today.
Oh,
I watched this episode today, and Tasha proves herself competent in like every episode that she was in. But in this one, she was like, "No, Worf, he's on adrenaline. We need to let him calm down, and then we can reason with him." She makes sense. She makes sense. Tasha Yar makes sense.
Not dollar. What's that?
no, thank you. Oh, I'm pacing myself
I'm not.
because I'm staying up until my flight. I am. I just am.
Cheers.
Ew, I hate doing that.
Okay.
Thumbs.
Well, you're not going to Disney World with me, so shush.
Are you going
Yeah,
to
he's going to
World?
Disney World. He needs to sleep.
That's
I'm going to
awesome.
Disney World. Yes, my mother decided that that's where Christmas is, and so that's where Christmas is.
Oh, I have a mom. I go to Disney.
Oh my
Man,
god.
Too soon. Colin.
Listen,
Oh my God.
you get to do that for a few more months, and then it's
Yeah.
and then it's harsh.
It actually
There's a
plays-
cutoff, and
wait,
that
but-
cutoff is March 13th. I don't know why. I just picked it.
The Ides of March.
In fairness,
I
that
know.
does hit on two things. So anyway, yeah.
Heart of okay. Show me your thumbs. Fuck it. Where are we? Do it. We're
Sideways.
going live. Up, up, sideways, sideways, sideways. Oh, we need Sohail. Klingon suck,
He didn't
Girl,
like
you
it.
got to stop dipping
Yeah,
out when we do
ma'am.
this.
ma'am.
So he'll get those dicks out of your mouth and give us your thumbs.
Does this
Oh my
dick in my
God.
mouth make me look gay?
Oh boy.
All right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a sideways and
Sideways.
You guys didn't change my rating.
Sohail, what was Heart of Glory? Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
It was down from the. It was not enough to change it.
Moving on. Arsenal of Freedom.
This is a terrible episode that I love.
Picard and his crew investigate the disappearance of the USS Drake and find themselves fighting for their lives on a planet run by computerized weapons. I'm a huge fan.
Thumbs up.
Love it.
Lasers.
Love it.
This is I love
doctor
this. It's camp and it's
doctoring.
stupid.
Yeah.
LaForge in charge.
Saucer separation.
Saucer separation. Weird lady at operations being like,
Infant zoo.
yeah,
What were
like
they?
throwing
Echo
your hair.
Papa? Was
The
it
probe
like
that
Echo
looks like a
Papa
prostate
drones, yeah.
massager. It's so good.
And
Yeah.
Zensu, who clearly was not wearing the standard Starfleet bra.
It's not.
Symbiosis. The Enterprise gets caught in a feud between the planets Ornara and Brekka over cargo the Ornarans claim they need to survive a plague. Spoiler
Ornar.
It
alert.
sounded like you were reading that in Australian.
Spoiler alert.
The Arnarans.
They're just addicted. There's no plague. Plague's gone.
This is one of the rare things in Lower Decks that I didn't like when they follow up with them and they're like, "Oh, we got over drugs. We just got really into fitness." Okay, fuck off. All right.
But it was fun
Yeah.
with the cave paintings of them going completely.
Yes.
Fucking
Yes.
crazy.
It was
Fucking
fun. It was funny, but
But
yeah.
the fitness thing was a little annoying. Also, the bit that kind of got dropped, these people can apparently fire electricity.
Yeah, that was
their
really
hands.
bizarre.
And like Yar, this is what like Yar is yarring, but Riker's fucking it up when he's like, well, that sounds like a difficult weapon to defend against. Like, and it's not funny.
Yeah, thanks.
I
Will.
like this episode because we get the reincarnations of David Marcus and Joachim.
Dr. David Marcus.
Dr. David Marcus and Joachim, or
It's
however.
just Joaquin.
No, but doesn't he say it weird, Con? He's like, Joaquin, I
was
will
Joachim.
avenge you. I don't remember.
Joachim.
Do you
That would be
remember?
weird for Ricardo Montalban to pronounce.
He just said, I shall avenge you.
Oh, my bad. That was just me headcanoning his name. But whatever. Joaquin.
Doesn't matter. Klingons suck.
Joaquin Phoenix, he was in this.
He
Yes.
was in this. But yeah, it's both the actors from Wrath of Khan. It's cool.
It is.
I
Yep,
like
that's
it.
right.
It was nice to see Merritt. And Merritt passed away shortly after this episode. Like I think within a year or two
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
complications involving AIDS. Yeah, unfortunately.
Super sad, but it was nice to see this perform. I think he did. I think he is one. His performance is one of the few really good things about this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this episode like tries to say something. It's one of those episodes where they're trying to give a message across with the intent of the message, like like an after school special kind of thing, and it just comes across bad. Like they're making the wrong stance, I guess.
Yeah. This was during Throat Goats just say no
To say
era.
no, yeah. So it was an abstinence only for drugs and sex from the woman who was Goblin Hog in the Paramount lot.
That was my nickname in high school, actually. Goblin Hog.
Goblin Hog.
That's the name of my law firm, Goblin Hog.
When you're injured,
Goblin
call
Hog and
Goblin
Associates.
Hog. I love that. I love this riff. This is a marker.
Dr. David Marcus. Symbiosis, thoughts, feelings, thumbs. Show them to me. Oh, Ken disappears just as we're voting.
Yeah.
No, I give it
Give me
a
thumbs.
Yeah.
The sideways.
I
Yeah.
have to go side.
The universal sideways.
Yeah.
The universal.
All right, guys. This is a tough one.
Boo! This episode.
Skin of Evil. An away team beams down to Vegra 2 to rescue Troy and her pilot, Ben Perdue, from their damaged shuttlecraft. It's not on there, I just know it.
No.
But the planet is inhabited by the malevolent Armus. Dun, dun, dun.
Who is ironically armless.
And
I see what you did there.
and a Baul, we think, from future Discovery episodes.
Right.
I hate this episode because we lose Tasha. I respect her decision. I think she made the right decision for her. My favorite idea of a what if scenario, a what if universe, a what if show for Star Trek is what if Tasha stayed.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love Sela. I love that she was able to come back in that way. I thought that was really cool. I hate the way that she died. I hate that weird mark that they put on her face because it just made it made it look cheesy.
Cow print. The cow
Yeah,
print.
yeah. But her funeral to this day, even in 2023, get that look off your face, Matt, because you know I'm right.
No, I was agreeing. I was saying, yeah. that's
Oh, okay.
true.
Sorry. I thought you were making a ew. It was weird face.
That was
No,
the green squish, not
Sorry,
just the
sorry,
green
sorry,
squish.
sorry.
They're very
Yeah.
similar.
I
They're
apologize.
very different squishes.
Yeah, so sorry. But her funeral was to this. It's still impactful. Like she said everything that she said for all of her comrades. Like Picard was a father figure to her. Her connection to Wesley or her respect for all of them. It got me. And Picard saying "Au revoir, Tasha."
This might, and Ken, I don't mean to trigger. If this does trigger, I apologize. But this is the best funeral in Star Trek.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I also like
It was
Joel's.
the best funeral. Yeah.
There's not that many funerals in Star Trek.
I know, but like, there's one that really, really stands
There's a
out.
significant one.
And
Yeah.
I don't want to like, but I mean and it's done beautifully. But this one,
Well, so the one you're talking
His
about,
was the
where
most.
I don't. I
Human.
always questioned the use of Amazing Grace in the one that you're talking about. Then I
Yeah.
thought that this one I thought was very well done. The one in Skin of Evil.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah. I struggle with Shatner's performance in Spock's funeral. But,
Yeah.
I mean, there
He
were
was the
choices
most
made. I am not
human.
a professional actor. He made choices that I just didn't find as believable.
Yeah, that never bothered me, but like, and I also never like Amazing Grace gets to me, even though I'm not a religious person. So like, it works for me as a human who music is the way to get to me.
Mhm.
Like music, even like lyrics, certain sounds. There's the Braveheart soundtrack. Oddly enough, like there's something to like a Celtic-y sound.
Yeah.
That can really get to me. Like the Pegasus theme in Battlestar Galactica really gets to me. There's something about horns and those things. I am so tipsy, and I know that like I'm making sense in my head. The point is, music can get to me, and Amazing Grace gets to me, even though I agree that's a weird choice for a half Vulcan, half human who purposefully and actively and many times made a point of saying, I am choosing a Vulcan way of life.
Unless we're to perceive it as Scotty.
Oh yeah, projecting his
not projecting, but almost like not even attributing, but
making it about him.
No, sort of conveying it to Spock, like, almost as a.
Yeah, I mean,
this is something
Scotty,
that fixes it. That fixes it. Yeah, that fixes
Scotty
it.
playing the bagpipe
I got
makes sense. I like the Scotty part, but then to carry it through into the orchestra.
Trek Culture in the chat. Hello.
Who is it? Who is it?
Hey, Trek Culture.
Yeah, which one? Which of you?
Yeah,
We're happy with anyone.
Identify
Hi,
yourself.
Sean. Hi, Ellie. Anyone? Nice to see y'all.
And Trek Culture is only talking to Sohel. The rest of us can go fuck ourselves.
Oh my god.
Stanley,
Okay,
Stanley.
be nice to our friends.
I'm kidding. I love Trek Culture.
Stanley, have
Just
you
being jealous? I'm projecting
have
my
you
jealousy.
have you seen Highlander 2?
Forever ago.
That
Forever
Amazing
ago.
Grace scene gets me every time. I love that.
Oh.
There's an
Highlander
Amazing Grace
2?
scene.
Does-
Oh yeah. Oh, I vaguely remember it, but yeah.
Most people
I'll
make
take-
a full measure of life, or
Like
something like that.
unanticipated segues for 1,000.
Yeah, what was
Highlander really should have lived up to its theme, to its main message. There should be only one. Anyway.
Ouch.
God.
Ken's bringing us in.
Dad worked hard for that dad joke.
And also the Highlander theme by
Hey guys.
Queen.
Hey guys.
Incredible.
Hey guys. Show me the skin of evil on your thumbs.
I think Skin of Evil is a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Overall, minus losing talk.
Sorry, Will.
Sorry, I don't care.
I know.
Tasha did not need to die. I think it would have been nice if they just said she was transferring or leaving the Enterprise instead of fully killing her off. Because it's like such a shitty move.
Yeah, but remember who
to
did
kill
it.
off an actor.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you remember what on her last day of filming, what fucking Rick Berman did?
Yeah, he ripped her
I love that
comm badge
story
off of
there.
her. He said, "You don't need this anymore." Like,
Guess you don't need this anymore, and took it.
Yeah, well, I remember because I remember when she posted the comments right after when it was happening.
I love
Well,
that she called him out on
at the
Twitter.
time,
It's
it
like
really was
documented.
terrible. At the time, it
yeah.
really was terrible, but it brought about yesterday's Enterprise, which I thought was just
Hi,
fantastic.
Chris.
Yeah, I mean,
Fantastic,
fair, but like,
Mm.
it's still like.
Don't be a dick.
I don't know. It was still shitty. Like they could have done it where maybe she didn't transfer off the Enterprise. Like it could have been something completely different. Like we didn't need to have her die in such a way that just felt like such a slap in the face. Even if you didn't know what was going on, it's just shitty. Anyway,
Like
So-
Guinan says, she dies a senseless death.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
true.
Will, thank you for giving me the idea of what a little adventure for Salon in Vegas. We will all line up for Denise and gift her a comm badge.
Yes.
Hell yeah!
Yes.
Happening.
I love
It's
that.
happening.
No,
That'd
we
be
should do
cute.
that. I love that.
She was in a
she bet-
scant in one episode, and
The
you
very end of Encounter at Farpoint.
Yes, that's right.
Because I watched it over and over again. All right, guys, we're
this one.
We're bringing it in. We're bringing it in.
We're so close.
The ship is so close to docking.
The starship
that
is
sounded
landing.
so
Woo!
dirty.
Docking.
We'll always have Peanut
What's
Paris.
up,
Talking
Docking?
is fun.
When Dr. Paul
saying.
Mannheim's time experiments malfunction on Vandor 4, because it's really important you understand this took place on
You
Vandor
care about
4,
the wrong things of these.
threatening to rip open the fabric of space, which sounds dirtier than it should. Picard must not only find a way to stabilize the damage, but find a way to come to terms with seeing the former love of his life aflame from afar. The lady he ditched at a cafe, the Café des Artistes. This episode fucking sucks. Your thoughts?
It does.
We
give us
should
the
never
Mannheim-
have had
it gives us
Paris.
Mannheim.
Wait. And we're talking over each other. Let's turn it over to the head of temporal investigations, Matt.
It does. It gives us one of the big time travel bits in Star Trek that a lot of other authors go on to use. So
Yeah.
if for nothing else,
And Star Trek
in a lot
Armada.
of- and Star Trek Armada, yeah.
The Mannheim
So
Centers.
it definitely has some value. I'll say that for this
Oh, yeah.
episode. The episode,
The Mannheim stuff is awesome. You're
yeah,
100%
getting
right.
deja vu and like
And the whole data 3 times. Yeah, that was great. All the sci-fi stuff was awesome.
I'm the right one.
Yeah.
Right.
I like that it's the title comes from a movie, and I think this is probably the only Star Trek episode ever where I mean, there's plenty of Shakespeare titles, but I don't think there's anything that comes from a movie except for this one. And this, of course, is a line from Casablanca, which, by the way, is a Warner Brothers movie, throwing it back to our intention. But yeah.
Crossover.
Listen. Segue award of the episode goes to.
Also, not for nothing, but when you all have a moment, go to YouTube and look up SNL Casablanca. It is chef's kiss. It is a perfect. It's an alternate ending for Casablanca, and it's fucking fantastic. It is chef's kiss. Great. Thumbs up for thumbs. Sorry, not thumbs up. Not trying to bias anybody. Thumbs for We'll Always Have Paris.
I like it.
I
give it a thumbs up.
I give it a thumbs up.
Up, sideways, up. Oh, it's enough. All right, people.
It's a conspiracy.
Conspiracy. Picard must deal with suspicions that there's a growing conspiracy within the upper ranks of Starfleet.
I love this episode.
And
this
then
movie
shoot
scared
them.
the shit out of me.
Yes. The only thing that I don't like about this episode is that we don't get to see the other 3 ships.
Yeah.
One of them is
It
apparently in a
would have been
basketball
Excelsior
class.
classes.
And
It would have been Excelsior classes.
Wait a minute.
Right.
The Horatio, the Thomas Paine.
And the Drake? No.
Walker Keel. Like there's this whole I like
Walker
that guy.
He's the captain.
Can we
If
also
only all
point
of human
out
knowledge were at our fingertips.
that
Oh, wait.
Bolian, his name is Captain Rix.
Yeah.
You're the
So
son
you're
of
actually
Rick?
a Bolian?
You're
Is
the
that what
child
you're
of
saying?
Rix? Are you a child of Rix? No.
Is
Or
it,
are you
no, your name is. I thought your name was after the chalice.
It wasn't actually after anything.
Oh, really? I thought
Yeah,
I
it
thought
was-
Giselle was like a. Is it Giselle? Jezel?
Yeah. No, it's Giselle.
Guzzle. Say it again.
It's Giselle.
Giselle.
Like Giselle.
Oh, okay.
Giselle.
Because you're Jewish.
Like Giselle, but
Oh.
Giselle.
Giselle.
With
Very
the problematic gay
makes-
alert.
I don't think that counts. I was just asking a
Fine.
clarifying question.
Okay.
No, but it was I did it phonetically because I was thinking Jadzia Dax, and it was a trill, so it was Giselle Rix, Jadzia Dax. I was trying to keep
Okay.
the
Well,
cadence.
see, I thought it was a trill thing, but then I was like, "Oh, the chalice
It
of
is.
Riggs." I thought like, but then I was
That's
like,
right.
"It's
But
yeah,
couldn't
yes,
they be-
named after
I
his-
never realized.
Yes,
the
like
thing-
it-
I know, but sometimes
Well,
people
no.
spell things differently and pronounce them differently. This is why we ask clarifying questions so that we pronounce it correctly, because how Matt pronounces it is how we should pronounce it. We should all be respectful. I don't know if you all ever thought about that, but I have. I'm polite.
Stanley. It's okay. Take a break.
my biggest criticism of Picard season 1 that Deanna wasn't planting a flower in the Chalice of Reeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been. My biggest
no.
challenge, my biggest thing with this episode that we're
Yeah.
talking about now is how you can sidestep a phaser blast, a phaser beam. I mean,
No, you,
Oh,
you
yeah.
kind of have to skip. You have to.
yeah, that's
There's
like
a little hop,
what?
little
Right.
sparrow hop.
Yeah.
But we also got Captain Trilus Scott.
It's just a jump to the left.
Oh,
That was the Mannheim
Wow.
effect reaching Earth, but because they warped
true.
there, the differential, like, was what
Temporal
offset it.
displacement.
yes,
There you
exactly. All those things.
They adjusted their Lorentz equations.
All right, people. We encountered some mean bugs, and then we decided to shoot them in the head. Our thoughts, feelings, thumbs. Give them to me.
This shit was wild.
I like this
You know,
episode. I wish it's a bummer we never revisited this. I wish they would have tied this in somewhere else. But
Yeah.
I know it was supposed to be the
Gruesome.
Borg.
Lower
but, like,
decks. It's coming up with lower
I-
decks, I bet.
Bring that back. I want to tie in for that. But yeah,
Yeah, it's gruesome as fuck, but it's entertaining.
I'm glad they
Well, they
killed
did
that one
mention it in
fucking
Lower
Lieutenant
Decks
Commander
already.
'cause he's a fucking
did, yeah.
asshole.
the practical effects, or however they did the neck shit.
80s gore, man. 80s
So
gore
good.
is incredible. Like
Yeah.
RoboCop had nothing on this.
Yeah.
Listen, guys, even though I'm being kind of a pushy boss here, I do seek peaceful coexistence. But we're moving on to the neutral
Nice.
zone. Thank you, Sohail. Moving on to the neutral zone. While assigned to investigate missing outposts in the neutral zone, the Enterprise revives 3 cryogenically frozen people, including one horribly sexist pig, found aboard a wayward derelict Earth vessel.
I love this episode.
Same.
We get to see that fun lounge that
Yeah.
they put them all
Fun
in.
lounge.
We get to see
Also,
It's the fun lounge on deck 12.
I want to do this. I want to be cryogenically frozen when it's
Oh,
my
shit.
time so that I can end up in the future and be brought back as like, hey, old age isn't a thing anymore and welcome to your future.
You would have a heart attack and they'd have to revive you if it was exactly like TNG. Like somehow it just ended up being like TNG. It would like
Yeah, if it's like The Expanse, no thank you. Expanse is a great show. It's not a world I want to live in.
Unless I get to be Christian Episarala.
I was literally just about to say the same thing.
I mean, the outfits alone.
Yeah. Yes, if I could be rich and in charge of the UN, sure.
And Jorah Agdashlu got to keep 2 of those outfits.
This was a weird episode that clearly absolutely placed the Next Generation in the 80s.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very 80s episode. It's probably the most 80s episode of the Next Generation, in my opinion.
I don't know about that, but
There were other more 80s episodes, like Justice,
I think it's weird how
Oh, well.
where everyone was blonde and had a perm.
oh my god, the perm. We didn't even talk about the
We didn't talk
perms.
about the perms.
The
Well, so join us next week when we talk about perms.
Literally
Perms
nothing
and
but
Star
them.
Trek.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, next week where the Salon is just going to be talking about different Star Trek hairstyles.
Oh, good.
It's not. I'm not really.
And I'm leading the conversation because who better?
An objective observer.
Yeah, I
Right, I
will,
won't be in the conversation
I will be
either.
taking a step back. It will be Trevor and Ken.
Ken and I will be
discussing-
leading a conversation about hair.
Exactly.
Yes. No. Just because before I forget to talk about it next week, we're gonna discuss offline about the scheduling and whatnot. But I think next week we'll probably be doing a 2023 in Trek, a review of the year of Trek this year.
Introspective.
A retrospective, introspective. A same time, Ryan, same place.
don't
Every-
forget to
A
watch
Trek prospective.
It will be every.
There you
The
go.
salon when they happen are Thursdays at 6:30, and it's nearly every Thursday at this point.
Same bat time.
don't
Same
forget to watch
Trek-
Star Trek Prodigy.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right, Star Trek Prodigy back.
we will be talking about that.
But hey, before we wrap
Yes.
and talk about other
Yes,
things,
yes,
neutral zone.
right. The neutral.
The neutral zone.
Yeah.
I am so drunk.
It's fine. It's a lot of tequila.
I like the neutral zone. It's a
I'm
fun
a fan.
episode.
I like it.
It's fine.
Oh.
I hate the 2 plot structure of this. The other plot isn't necessary, but
There's frozen people.
Romulus
They
stuff
all
is good.
seem to come straight from an episode of LA Law, but they're enjoyable.
That's
They
true.
do come from LA Law.
Okay.
And it
Holy
does
crap,
make
that's-
Mark Alemo come back as a Romulan or come in as a Romulan.
I will also plug the Wolf 359 project again. Really loved reading it. For those who don't know, the Wolf 359 project, look it up on Twitter. You can it's a commission report about what happened at Wolf 359 and why and how. And it's a written report that you like. I love reading it on my iPad because it looks like I'm reading a Starfleet report on my pad. It is a retrospective report about what happened at Wolf 359, why, how did Starfleet fail at these things, and most of it is interview format. And where this episode ties in is they interview Tabak and how the Romulans knew certain things that they didn't tell Starfleet about, and his perspective on how they followed along that cube and what was going on with the Borg and how they thought, oh, this was going to be advantageous to us. The whole thing is incredible. The way that it ties certain things together is really cool. And if there's one thing I love, it's reading meeting minutes. And I just think it is delightful. And I am going to turn it over to my co-host to close out this thought with.
I do have to share that Thumb Wars started about 9 weeks ago because I made the comment
offhand
season 1 of TNG was better than season 7. And I have waited 9 weeks to put this banner up after this conversation because all y'all,
we have a tally,
Trekkin' fuckers, said that there were 8 thumbs ups for season 7.
I was not on season 7.
There were 14 for season 1. So I love you all dearly, and you're all my sisters.
I would have given every episode a thumbs up, just FYI.
That's not true. I
think go watch my show, Starfleet So Hail on YouTube. I talked about every single episode. You can go and hear me praise every episode and give every episode.
I believe that you can praise every episode because
I unironically love season 7. I cried so much that season as a viewer. I cried and cried. I knew it was the last season, and I soaked in every profundity into my being. I love that.
Profundity. Are you?
I don't know that a single thumb would have changed the tally.
No, I know.
On a few episodes, yes.
I just wanted to stand for. I just wanted to stand for season 7.
Let the record show. Trev was right, and I eat the last Cheez-It.
Tis right. Y'all, we are at the end of this salon. Star Trek The Next Generation Season 1 was delightful in many ways, was rough in many ways. I love talking about it with my sisters in Trek. I hope to see you all next week. We will be.
Oh, sorry.
But before we talk about next week, we will talk about.
There was 1 Beverly alert, 6 problematic gay alerts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I believe is a record.
That is.
It sure is.
Leave it for horny ass season 1.
Yeah.
To bring in the most.
Yeah. Plus, Sohail was able to join us.
Sohail, we can't say that you didn't push that number over the edge. 5 bonus points to Matt for a brilliant armless comment. 100 bonus points to Ryan, our newcomer, for a brilliant healthcare comment. And Joanna actually got all the bonus points. Joanne got all the bonus points for her brilliant and somewhat leveling comment that left us all in a fit of laughter and tears.
Yes. Joanne for the win.
Joanne for the win. As always.
Ryan, welcome to the salon. We hope to see you again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our entire audience, Joel, Joanne, Ryan, others who have not chimed in but are lurking in the background. We love to have you. We love lurkers. We will be back next. Well, TBD, but we will probably be back next.
Highly probable.
Here, let's just talk about this now. Who's here next Thursday? Is anybody traveling? I'm around. We will be here next Thursday talking about the year in Trek and perhaps other thoughts. We'll get back to you. You'll see it on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at OnlyStands85. Follow the other Twitter handles that you see here for more, and we will deep dive this and all things Trek Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Thank you all very much. Closing those hailing frequencies as soon as I click over to it, and it will then be this one. Thank you all so much for joining us. Live long and prosper.